disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.
Alright, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. I'll be your host, King Bucho, and we already have Gonzalo. Gonzalo, what's up? Maybe he's getting ready. But anyways, let's see. Who's in the chat already? SSB28, Game Time 79, Jay Perez, Pacquiao, Blues Boxing, The Straight G Turo, Dead Game Boxing. What's up, guys? What up? Well, okay, we're gonna be discussing. Well, somebody mentioned it on Discord. I think it was Cash Ali. By the way, Cash Ali. I don't know what your name is on YouTube, so I don't even know who Cash Ali is because people keep changing their names on Discord. So I don't know. But anyways, he mentioned something along the lines of, well, why don't you do a show up on the heavyweights in the last 20 years? And I was like, that's an interesting idea. That's Pigeon, Bucha. Oh boy. Was Pigeon the troublemaker? That one everybody was complaining about? Anyways, so that was a great idea. So I decided to talk about, or maybe like rank, I should say, the heavyweights, the top heavyweights in the last 20 years. Hold on, I'm looking for... Oh, here we go. So we got a bunch of names, right? Like AJ, Chris Byrd. I put David Haye. I mean, David Haye was a champion. Lennox Lewis, and you get the point. So we're gonna be ranking them, and I think there's gonna be a lot of disagreements when it comes to the top two. So the phone lines are open. So call in if you want to disagree with what we're gonna be saying, and yeah. Let's get this party started. We have Gonzalo, you there?
Yeah, what's up, Bucho?
What's up, man? So I don't know if you heard, but we're gonna be talking about the heavyweight division, the best heavyweights in the last 20 years. 20 years. Somebody mentioned Roy Jones, and it's true because he was a champion. I mean, even though, well, yeah, he was a champion, paper champion, in my opinion, because John Ruiz wasn't a legitimate heavyweight champion. But still, he was a champion. So let's begin. Oh, let's wait just a little bit so we get more people in and we get more panelists. But Gonzalo, if you want to talk about anything right now, we can start by doing that. Anything that comes to mind? Any fights you watched? Any news you read?
I need to get some coffee, man.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to get some tea, but then people were like, because I kept pushing the show, right? Initially, I said it was going to start an hour ago. Then I added another 30 minutes. Then I added another 30 minutes. And then people were complaining. So I was like, fuck. I mean, they're right. Gotta stick to a fucking time, right? So, but I need some tea. Coffee, it's a little bit late, too late for coffee. but T might do the trick. But I can't just leave the show running. So yeah, Blues Boxing. Charles Martin was a champion. Exactly.
St. Britt brought an interesting point the other day. He was talking about Navarrete, who's fighting on Thursday. He's fighting an opponent with 13 wins and 13 losses.
Jesus Christ.
He's been fighting like his last 5 fights. Really like nobody's unheralded fighters. The only name he's got on his resume is Doc Boy. And he needs to start fighting somebody.
Yeah, that's why like these rankings, these belts. I don't. There's no rules with these organizations. I don't know. Boxing is a mess, man. I'm reading these comments here. Blue Collar Sports TV says Sultan Ibragimov. Yes. WBO champion, I think. Who beat Shannon Briggs? I don't know. Same Brit Sports says play God Save the Queen while you're making tea. Maybe I will. I sound like a retard. That's that's the way Trudeau's. If you listen to Justin Trudeau, he always does that. Well, because the people. Fuck is that shit? And then if he doesn't have a script, he doesn't know what the fuck to say. I've noticed that. The fucking actor. But we love Justin Trudeau. We're just making jokes. He's the best prime minister we've ever had. All right. So let's wait so we start populating this YouTube live stream. Let's see. The phone lines are open. Posted it on Twitter. What else? That's pretty much it. So what do you guys think about this idea? Same Brit. The hell are you talking about? I'm not reading your comment. Let's go. So I made this list. Well, this what you wanna call it? Template. We're gonna be dropping in names like this. So we got Joshua in there. Let's go with the historical names. Lennox Lewis. So I think Lennox Lewis, in my opinion, he was the best heavyweight in the last 20 years. Now, 20 years. This means 2000, obviously. When did Lennox Lewis retire? That's something I always fucking forget. He fought. Let's look at his. David Tua was in 2001. That I remember. Lennox Lewis.
Retired in 2003.
Yeah, I got it here. 2003. All right. So he had 3 years. So how many fights? Okay, I'll tell you how many fights he had in 2000. 2000, Michael Grant, Francois Botha, David Tua, Hasim Rahman, Mike Tyson, and Vitaly Klitschko. Decent wins. David Tua, good win. Francois Botha, I don't give a shit. Michael Grant, I thought that was 99, but no, it's 2000, March 29th, 2000. I mean, I guess he was a hype job, so Michael Grant. So would you consider that a good win for Lennox Lewis? A great win?
He wasn't really that. He wasn't a great fighter. He was just a contender. Michael Grant.
Yeah. Who had never done really anything before. He was because he was an American. He was big. Blue Skull Sports TV says Michael Grant is Wilder 1.0. Exactly. He was like the T1000, the W100. And then you had the W1000, which was Wilder. Like he had a right hand. That was the upgrade. David Tua, good win. Hasim Rahman. Well, he lost to Rahman. You can obviously, conclude that was it was an upset, but that wasn't the real Lennox Lewis in there, in that ring. Then he defeated easily Hasim Rahman again, so that's a good win. Mike Tyson, way past his prime, and then Vitaly Klitschko. Very good record. for a span of 3 years. It's pretty good. That's better than Wilder. Tell you that. 9 fucking defenses.
That Vitaly Klitschko was really good. Although it was competitive and he was probably losing it up until the cut, the way he pulled it off, you got to give him credit for that too.
Yeah.
Basically, he
Yeah.
retired on top.
He did. And that's why he never wanted that rematch. And he could have taken that rematch. And they offered him a lot of money, I remember. But yeah, listen, that Lennox Lewis, he weighed in at a career high of 260 something pounds. So there was obviously something wrong with the guy. He still managed to, like you said, create that huge cut on Vitaly Klitschko. So you gotta give him credit for that. Whether you think he was winning or not, he was in the fight. Vitaly was hitting a bunch of punches, right? That's why he got that giant cut. So no, it was a good win for Lennox. I don't care what people say. Let's see what people say. I don't care what people say, but let's see what people say in the chat. Yeah, exactly. Same Brit says, let's be honest, Vitaly couldn't beat the worst Lennox. Exactly. Now, Vitaly also wasn't he wasn't expected to fight Lennox Lewis until like the last minute, so he was a bit surprised. But still, you're right. That wasn't the best Lennox Lewis. Pigeon is asking, was Lennox about 38 then? Well, I don't know. He was born in 89. So that was 2003. Somebody tell me how old he was. No, wait. Sorry. He was born in 65. Sorry. He was born in 1965. So 2000 would be what? 35? And then add 3. 38. Oh, you're right. You're right. Same Brit says he was still, so he's talking about Vitaly. He was still preparing for a fight on that card, so he was in shape. That's true. Wasn't Lennox Lewis also in shape? But for some reason wasn't. No, he wasn't in shape. Lennox wasn't in shape. Boxing Virus says, where would you place Aiki Beabuchi? Well, I don't know. He didn't really do that much he defeated what? Let's see. Tua and Chris Byrd. Who else did he fight? But anyways, he wasn't a champion, so we can't really rank him on this list that we're going to be creating. Yeah. He would go into like a list of fighters who could have been. We should do that someday. We can add Edwin Valero, remember? That's a lightweight, had a lot of power. So SSB28 is asking, who is the best American heavyweight in the last 20 years? That's another good question. That's a very good question, actually, because actually we can talk a lot about that, or we can have a good debate. Who is the last who's the best heavyweight in the last 20 years? That's a good one. All right, let's go start with the contenders. Boxing versus Holyfield. Now, Holyfield, what was he doing in the 2000s? I remember he started off by fighting John Ruiz, having those 3 fights. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me go check his record. Holyfield, let's see what he was doing. So, 2000, yep. John fucking Ruiz. 3 amazing fights that will be remembered for 1,000 years. Then he fought Hasim Rahman, when Hasim Rahman grew that second head, if you guys remember, that was pretty fucking gross. He had this injury on his forehead, Hasim Rahman did, and it was swelled up and it looked like he had a second head. Chris Byrd, lost to Chris Byrd, lost to James Toney, lost to Larry Donald. I had forgotten about that. Jesus. I don't know. What do you guys think about Holyfield in the 2000s? Did he really do that much?
That was a shot version of Holyfield.
No, of course, very shocked. Now, can he be considered the best American heavyweight in the last 20 years?
Definitely.
Yeah. Even
Well,
though,
the last 20 years,
yeah, like since 2000.
with all that, those fights and that resume from 2000 on forward, I would say no.
Exactly. Maybe that's what. Yeah, because we're even confused here. Yeah, we're talking just 2000 and after.
I mean, he was game during a time where American heavyweights were not really in the mix.
Yeah, yeah. There wasn't that many. I mean, okay, we'll get next. This is a good Chris Byrd. Chris Byrd, IBF heavyweight champion. 2000. Let's see. Stopped David Washington, then fought Vitaly Klitschko. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys see what I'm looking at on the screen. Oops. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Let's take this down. Fucking ads. All right, you guys can see where are we at. So let's say David Washington, Vitaly Klitschko. That was a great win for him. That was in Germany. Then lost to Wladimir Klitschko. A bunch of wins here. David Tua. Wait, what? No. I don't even remember this fight. Do you remember when he fought David Tua?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How was that fight? I don't even remember anything about that fight. Anyways.
Yeah, I had talked to Chris Byrd a couple months ago. He said he wanted to come on the show, but I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, I think you told us. We should bring him.
So I was watching a few of his fights. I remember back in the days when he was fighting. He was a good boxer, but let's be honest, he didn't have the punching power, so a lot of people were not really interested in him as a heavyweight because he didn't have that power, but he was really a good boxer.
Yeah, he was really a light heavyweight. I think he even admitted that he moved up in weight because of the money.
That's right. He might have been undefeated at light heavyweight, I believe.
Yeah, he might have power. Still, it was pretty impressive what he was doing. Although I'm gonna be just my opinion. It was kind of like a little bit boring to watch him fight sometimes. I mean, he was impressive in the sense that sometimes he was fighting big guys like Jamil McCline. But I mean, it's just not my type of style. And somebody in the chat mentioned that I think, yeah, Blue Collar Sports TV says Tua is a better win than anything on Wilder's resume, as is Vitali. That's true, man. Hey, Chris Byrd has those names in there. You know what I mean? He has Holyfield, or way past his prime, Evander Holyfield, Freso Kendo, Andrew Golada. Also draw. Oh, yeah. Now, this one I remember. I remember Jamil McCline. All this was during those pay-per-views that Don King was putting on there, those heavyweight pay-per-views that at some point started getting pretty fucking annoying and disgusting. But yeah, that was Chris Byrd for you. And then 2006 get destroyed by Wladimir Klitschko. I remember that. And after that, I guess it's the complete decline of his career. Listen, we're talking about which American heavyweights, or which American heavyweight dominated in the 2000s. Chris Byrd is probably number one. Unless somebody else gives me a name.
He also got beat really bad by Ike Iabuchi. It was an interesting fight, but he got knocked out where he was drooling in the end. Remember that?
Yeah, he was so fucked up in the head because of the knockout. He was drooling. Rarely do you see that. I don't remember. I think who else knocked out John Ruiz in the 90s? Did anybody knock out John Ruiz in the 90s? Or am I?
Yeah, Ray Mercer.
John Ruiz?
No, was it Ray
No. Or maybe I'm making this up. I think he was drooling at some point as well. Maybe David Hay, but that was later on. I think he knocked out. Anyways, yeah, exactly. Blue Collar Sports TV says Tua KO'd Ruiz. Yeah, in the 90s, round 1. Yeah, I think. He was
that's
also,
right. Yeah. David Tua.
He was also like drooling and shit. You should put that in the video game, by the way. You know, we're talking about last time about a new boxing video game. They should have that feature, man. And now we have all these nice graphics, realistic graphics. Add some drooling. All right. Actually, I want to do a show on what we want to see in the next boxing video game, and maybe hopefully EA Sports or whoever's gonna make that game can implement some of these, because some of these boxing games, they look too much like Rocky. They need to hire people who understand the sport. They need to talk to the fans. Fucking, they go
That's
on,
right.
they watch Rocky 1 through 5 and then whatever, and then they start, okay, now let's start making the game, you know? It's like, fuck. And that jab, you know how the jab sounds in these video games? Like that. What is that sound? That's adding the you know. I don't know how that sound. What do you call that sound? But you guys know what I mean. It sounds pathetic. It sounds like a little slap. There's no snap in the punches.
Yeah, they need to make it realistic. I remember one of the games I played back in the early 2000s, maybe the 90s, can't recall, where they had the actual fighters. I used to pick Ricky Hatton. The actual fighters, and you could create your own boxer. That was pretty. I think Joe Tessitore was one of the commentators on that video game. It's the most popular one they have for PS2 and Xbox, but it was one of the earlier editions. That was a good game.
Yeah,
they stopped making
just
all of a sudden.
The knockdowns and the knockouts were exaggerated, over exaggerated, and there's never a standing. Sorry, there's never like a mandatory 8 count. It's always like 1, 2, 3, and then he gets up. Who gets like, nah, man, count until 8. You always count till that. Fuck, no, they don't know. See, that the fact that they don't get that right means that they didn't do their homework.
Was it Knockout Kings?
Yeah, it was Knockout Kings, and then he changed the name to Fight Night.
Okay.
Fight Night.
I was thinking of the fight between Ray Mercer and Tommy Morrison, which was really devastating. How he knocked him out, but yeah, that knockout of John Ruiz by David Tua was equally devastating as well.
Yeah, that way Tommy Morrison fell. I mean, he like collapsed basically. It's like he got shot or something. That was crazy. Moving on. So we talked about Chris Byrd. Let's go to the chat. That's a good question. For the video game, Santos Romo is saying, how much power will Wilder's super windmill punch have? That's a good question. That's a very good question. And we should do a show on that as well. Like, we could, like, build up the stats for each fighter. How much power each one would get. I remember Agati was, in one of the video games, he had a lot, like, it was just not realistic. I think it was the cuts. He
used to get cut real easy?
Yeah, exactly. He should. But they wanted to put him like some sort of legend. And it's like, come on. Yeah. They could also improve career mode. I have a lot of fucking ideas, man.
Well, somebody said that supposedly Dougie Fisher said that something's coming right around the corner. I think it was Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that Doug Fisher said that. I hope it's true. Well, I think it's true. Yeah, I don't know why he would be lying, but yeah, I hope it happens.
But they've been saying that for a long time. They said that Clarissa Shields said something about a year ago, then like the year before that. That's a lot of waiting.
Yeah, listen, we need to take matters into our own hands. We can't wait for these boxers to mention something that they heard, they think they heard, whatever. We'll do it ourselves, man. Everybody who has a boxing channel, you can help.
Supposedly,
who's listening. Yeah, go ahead.
Now that I recall, like EA Sports has a contract with UFC like for 5 years, and until that contract runs out, they can't really make a video game for boxing. So I don't know how true that is.
Maybe they have. Well, they have. They probably. I mean, I think anybody can make a boxing video game. I just put the names. They're copyrighted. A lot of these names, I think. A lot of these boxers. So maybe they can't use those boxers. I'm just
Well,
speculating.
yeah, at least that one, the one we want with the actual fighters. And
Yeah, but guess what,
stuff
man?
like that.
I don't give a shit about them. I mean, it would be nice to have real boxers with real names and all that. But if you can't get those names, I don't care, man. Just make a real boxing video game. It has to be realistic, and that's pretty much it. That's what I want. Listen, if you can't get George Foreman in there, I mean, whatever. Anyways, SSB28 says 2K can make the game. Absolutely, they can. Blue Collar Sports TV says very expensive to get naming rights. That's true. I mean, I think Floyd was asking for some crazy amount of money. That's why he was never in any of those video games. Maybe he was in the early ones. I think he was in 2001. Because I was fighting. I was pitting Morales against Mayweather all the time. Go ahead.
Well, so for FIFA and NBA, they gotta get the names also, right?
Yeah. FIFA they do the same thing. But now you have PES, and they're getting a lot of the rights as well. Like Juventus, the name. They copyrighted Juventus, and now FIFA can get Juventus. So it doesn't make fucking sense because you're playing the Serie A, and when you play Juventus, they're called Piedmonte or some shit like that. I was like, what is this crap? But it's the same thing. I'm going on a tangent here. Somebody asked, okay, Boxing Virus is saying Hard Knockout Nights Live is a boxing game coming in the near future. Hardcore Night. Okay, I'm gonna look into it. Let me just copy this name. Maybe we can show a video later. Hard Knock. What the fuck is this? Hard Knocks Night Live. Okay. We'll look into that. Showbiz promotes it on his channel. Oh, okay. But is it like a mobile phone type of game? Oh, I see the Showbiz video here. New boxing game for PS4 and Xbox. I'm gonna look into it. D-Star says Floyd will be the ultimate boxer. Blue Boxing says, yeah, in that leads team with Strahan, Chapman, McClaster was great leads. What are you guys talking about? All right.
So I got the PlayStation, right? And I bought that FIFA game. But I was playing it for a while, and after a while, I got bored, man. I let some of my wife's relatives borrow my game system. I hope if I get a game like boxing, that doesn't happen. One game that I can stick to and play all the time without getting bored.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. Well, just get the PS5.
That's what I'm waiting for.
It looks ugly as fuck.
Now, I don't know how much the price is going to be for that.
Yo.
And how much are the games going to be?
Games should be about the same, though. I don't know how much it is over there. $80? 75, 80 to $80. I'm trying to get Revolution in here. There you go. All right. All right, we're gonna get Stu here as well soon. Sorry about these people. It's kind of hard to multitask. All right, so what we're talking about? We're all over the place.
Yeah, with the heavyweights of the last 20 years, as far as America,
yes,
there wasn't really any dominant American.
No. Well, Chris Byrd was dominant. Was he the legitimate heavyweight champion? I guess no. No, he wasn't, but he was doing his thing. He should have fought Lennox Lewis. I don't know why that fight never happened. Maybe somebody in the chat knows why that fight never took place. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Let's move on. Who, in your opinion, Gonzalo, is the most dominant or was the most dominant heavyweight in the last 20 years?
It's got to be Wladimir Klitschko. And you have to mention, Jesus, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you have to mention Anthony Joshua because he's been fighting for the last 7 years. So he's put a dent into the last 2 decades.
Wow. AJ. So wait, when did he become champion? Let me check that out.
No, I said 7 years. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just thinking off the back of my memory.
Yeah.
Because I recall seeing him. Well, he was in the Olympics, right?
7 years.
Then he started coming out. 7 years? Okay. Then he started coming out on the Ring magazine.
Yeah.
And he's pretty popular.
Yeah.
But then he started getting into those close fights. I mean, he had a lot of knockouts until he fought that one guy, Carlos Takam, that was able. Well, the fight got stopped early. Then, you know, he went the distance a couple times. Then he lost the belts and recaptured him. But definitely, he's got the best resume. And if he's been fighting 7 years, that puts a dent into 1 decade. So, I mean, if you mention 20 years, he's not the most dominant, but he's the guy that took out the former champion of Wladimir Klitschko, like knocked him out.
Absolutely.
So also Tyson.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tyson Fury as well. But he retired for 3 years when he used to speak all that stuff about being the lineal champion, which they still do. It's pretty like I don't know, hard to listen to sometimes. Now he's saying, you know, he's willing to abandon the WBC belt and only remain as the lineal. But anyways, yeah, he retired for 3 years. Then how long has he been WBC champion? For 1 year. Hasn't defended the title, but you got him as well, Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you have Klitschko as number one, but hold on, what about Vitaly Klitschko? Because you're putting him. Klitschko. I mean, Fury. Here's the thing with Fury, though. Like you just said, he retired. So basically, okay, he had that Chisora win. He then, 2 Chisora wins, I believe. Then he fought Klitschko, good win. Then disappears for 2 years or something. Comes back, gets a draw against Wilder, which he should have won that fight, right? Then beats Wilder, and look at his career. He only has 2 big wins, Klitschko and Wilder. And so is that enough to put him up there? I mean, I think AJ has a better record than Fury. I think we've debated this on this show. Yeah, I said 20 years. All right, listen, DSFG, why don't you click on the link? Come debate us. And don't say that Danny Garcia is the best heavyweight in the last 20 years.
It's like, were you mentioning Vitaly Klitschko being inactive? Because it almost seemed like, I mean, they used to refer to the 2 brothers. What was the cliche they used to use for total world domination or something? But it almost seemed like Vitaly went on these rest periods to allow his brother to fight and be the dominant one, right? Because they would have never fought each other.
No, they said
and he had he had the harder chin. And I'm sure, like, if Wladimir wouldn't been as active as he was when he went on that first run, maybe his brother would have taken his place. But since his brother was the more active one, older brother allowed him to make more of a career than he did for himself.
I mean, maybe.
Because in the end, the opponents that Vitaly would have beaten, I mean, he left them there for Wladimir to beat, because maybe they sat down and had like a meeting and so a talk with each other. I'm going to allow you to be like the more dominant champion, because if we end up fighting the same guys, we're eventually going to, be ranked to where they're going to pit you against me, which that would have never happened. But in other words, yeah, that was an earlier version that the one that fought Lennox Lewis. So I'm sure that Vitaly Klitschko would have been a good champion at the time, which he was, but he just allowed his brother to fight more often, I think.
Yeah, it's true. He fought more. Vladimir had a more active career, but I just want to look at Vitaly's record after he became the champion, the WBC champion. By the way, I don't count the WBO reign. That who had the WBO before in the 90s or something? One of them held the WBO title. I don't remember who it was, but fuck, forget about that shit. I think it was Vitaly Klitschko. Let me put it on the screen over here. This is Vitaly Klitschko's box rec page. So 99. Yeah, he was the WBO champion in the 90s. But
it's interesting how Vitaly Klitschko lost to Chris Byrd, but then Wladimir cleaned it up for him, did his dirty work, and then the same thing happened with Corey Sanders. But the other way around. Corey beat Wladimir, then Vitaly stepped in.
Yeah, exactly. It was ironic.
Why wouldn't he do it to where he avenges his own loss instead of like having his brother do it for him, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was the style, the other brother had a better chin, and they kind of helped each other in that sense.
Yeah, but in that period, I mean, in the 2000, when was the Corey Sanders fight? 2004. It started to look as if Vitaly Klitschko was the better of the two. Remember? I don't know if you also thought that or heard that. Vitaly was becoming the best one.
Well, definitely he was stronger and had a better chin.
Yep. He looked more solid. He looked more, and remember, Vladimir lost not only to Corey Sanders in that period of time. He also lost to
Ross Purity.
No. Lamont Peterson. No, Lamont Peterson. Layman Brewster. Yeah.
That's right. I recall watching that fight.
Yeah. He was fucking tired. Somebody said that he was poisoned, but I was like, come on, man. I don't know. I don't think he was poisoned, but he looked gassed. And that was a problem with Vladimir. That's why then he changed his style to preserve more energy. Right? Because he had major stamina issues. Go ahead.
No, that's right. Yeah, I recall watching that fight live. The guy gassed out. He really started showing that. That's when he went over to Emmanuel Stewart, right?
Yeah.
He started reinventing himself. That's when Emmanuel Stewart came out with the statement that after 6'5", when a fighter's like really tall, they kind of lose coordination a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And whatnot, but he definitely reinvented himself, and it took him some time. But after that, he went on that winning streak again, where he proved his dominance. But yeah, he kind of fought like where he started tying up and fighting scared and utilizing that jab and that great right cross that he had.
That clinching, man. Fucking that clinching, man. I don't care what the fuck people want. Oh no, you don't he was a master of doing whatever. He was good, man. Listen, he had an amazing jab. He knew how to use his height. But the clinching, that was unacceptable, man. Unacceptable, man. All right, hold on. We have Revolucion in here. Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Welcome.
How we doing today?
Talking heavyweights in the last 20 years.
Heavyweights in the past 20 years. Let's talk about, well, you guys are talking about the best ones, obviously, because we were just talking Vlad.
Yeah.
So why don't we go a step down to some of the B and C level? How about some like Vlad's opponents? I like that era because it went so long, and you had guys like Samuel Peters.
Yeah.
And fucking Sultan Ibragimov.
Yep.
Chris Byrd. Like that era, because it was a shitty era that Vlad really ruled over when you think about it.
Oh, don't say that. You're gonna get people mad.
Okay, well,
Hey, but
maybe not shitty, but not the best. Who did he really have to go against here?
Wladimir. Well, we mentioned a bunch of his names. I mean, Chris Byrd. That was listen. Chris Byrd was a champion. I know he was a paper champion, but he had that IBF belt.
He wasn't the best guy.
No, but he was like you said, he was a B level. I mean, A level in the last 20 years would be what? Vitaly, Wladimir, Lennox. He was there for 3 years. Who else? A list. Well, I guess maybe we'll go Joshua.
See, I'm going up the thing now. Here we go. Calvin Brock, Lamont Brewster when he avenged, Sultan Ibragimov, Tony Thompson, Asim Rahman, Ruslan Chagayev, Eddie Chambers, David Hay, John Mark McCormick, or John Mark Mormick. Mormick. It's a funny name. Marius Wack, Tony Thompson again, Pianetta, Alex Lapai. Isn't he the fat fucker? The fat fucking Samoa that Joseph Parker beat up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like Uncle Tito from Rocket Power with a bald head.
I don't know what that is.
Anyway.
Someone got your joke for sure. But yeah, no. Pulev, yeah.
I mean, when you compare, you're saying he had a really long career, right? But compare the names to, because we talk about how good AJ's record is.
Yes.
And not even barring the fact that AJ beat Klitschko. You know, take that off. Anthony Joshua, who's he beaten so far? Dillian White. I'm trying to think of he's Parker yet.
Povetkin.
An older Povetkin still.
Yeah, but you said that Vladimir's era
Molina.
sucked. But hold on, you said
Revolution.
You said Vladimir's era sucked, right? As opposed to like now or the 90s, because if you go to the 90s, and I mean it's there's no disagreement there. I think everybody would agree with you that.
Yeah.
But
has it gotten better? I guess that's a good point. Has it gotten better since?
What do you think?
They definitely they were like at a crossroads, because if it didn't get better, they got bigger, and along with that size, that poses a distinct kind of problem. And not all those big guys were like really good, but some of them were, and some of them aren't now.
Okay, let's take. Okay, good point. Good point. Let's take Valuev. Remember that the giant?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how good was the guy?
Definitely the biggest heavyweight. I mean, ever. That he was a giant. So yeah.
But I mean, was he even good? He was a champion, supposedly the WBO champion.
I mean, he was decent. I don't think he ever got knocked out. So, because he was just a mountain of a dude, and he was just huge.
David Hayes.
I mean, didn't David Hayes say he's like the ugliest thing that he ever seen, like in person?
Yeah, I think so. I think he said that. Boxing Virus says Holyfield beat Valuev. I remember that. Yeah, people say that Holyfield beat him. And remember, that was a way past his prime, Holyfield. So he was big. I don't think he was good. But like you said, I mean, at some point, when you're that big, you're going to cause some problems to anybody. But I don't know. Just the fact that you had that guy as a WBO heavyweight champion, a top contender, just shows me that the division was crap. The fact that he managed to make it all the way to the top just shows me that the division wasn't that good. What are people saying in the chat? I don't know what you guys are talking about here. Pigeon Mike Tyson says, sleep with a Somalian rugby team. What the fuck? Yeah, guys. Hey, come on. Get with the program. All right. By the way, people, the phone lines are open. So call in. Let us know what you think. Who was the best heavyweight in the last 20 years? I'm going with Wladimir Klitschko. I agree with Revolucion. I think that division wasn't the greatest, but it's not much better now. And everybody was shocked. And oh my God, Wilder's knocking all these people out. Oh my God, look at Wilder.
It's got to be Vladimir. In the past 20 years, dude, because Vladimir held it down for the first 10, and there hasn't been somebody who's held it down for the last 10. You know, you could say it that way. Well,
Anthony Joshua for like the last 7. We were talking about that.
Well, no. He hasn't. Okay, but Anthony Joshua. Wait, hold on. He's
unified.
Yeah, but when you say
Unified,
last
right?
7 years, you're making it as to be as he's been reigning for 7 years. He started his career 7 years ago.
Oh, how long has he been champion?
I'm gonna tell you right now. 3 years. March 29th, 2017, when he fought Vladimir. So since
okay.
3 years.
Yeah, I think Deontay Wilder's been champion for longer, right? He was.
Yeah, longer for sure, because he has 9 defenses.
I think he had been champion for how many? 7 years?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Romain Steven. That was the first fight. Yep. Since January 17th, 2015. 5 years.
5 years.
Well, that record.
Been fighting. He's been a pro for like 9, almost 10 years.
Yeah, but look at his name: Eric Molina, Duapa, Spilka, Ariola, Gerald Washington, Romain Steven, Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury. He lost that fight. Dominic Brazil, Luis Ortiz again, and then gets embarrassed against Tyson Fury. So those title defenses, they don't impress me at all. I don't know what you guys think in the chat.
No, really weak era.
Hold on.
Well, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised Joshua has only been champion for 3 years. Because I recall seeing him on the cover of the Ring magazine for a long time. Like ever since the Olympics. That was a long time ago.
Well, the Olympics
he had a lot of
2012.
Yeah, he had a lot of hype behind him. I remember even walking into like the Dick's Sporting Goods in the United States, and you had like these big posters of Anthony Joshua. You have him of Canelo as well. But I mean, for him being a foreigner, he was really promoted in the United States.
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of people.
He looks like a heavyweight champion. He looks like a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, very marketable. Those are 2 very marketable guys that you could put on a big marquee poster on a wall, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you don't put... I mean, we're talking about...
if you're some people.
Good point, because we're talking about Valuev. I mean...
Yeah, are you going to walk into Dick's Sporting Goods and see big old Valuev on the wall with his hairy back and his fucking Neanderthal frame? And his,
he should be in the cover of the next boxing video game.
Yeah, hugging a fucking Otis Tisdale or fucking Tavor's Cloud or somebody.
I remember he had a lot of chest hair and back hair.
Yeah,
you can see he was all sweaty and everything. And then when he fought Holyfield's like clinching and shit. He's rubbing his face all over that shit. Fucking.
He's like the European. Fuck, what's his name? The European Sam Lasco. From,
yeah, exactly.
Was the caveman.
The hot dogs.
He's an ogre. What's that movie with the Beanstalk, the Slayer, that new movie? Not new, but you know, it was like a few years ago.
Which movie?
Jack and the Beanstalk, or what's the name of the Jack and the Beanstalk?
I didn't see it. What's it, like a cartoon thing, Pixar thing? I don't know.
No, it's an actual movie.
I don't know.
It's based off the old novel.
Didn't see it.
He looks like one of the ogres from the movie.
We got a rival in here. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Welcome. Heavyweights, last 20 years. Which one? I guess the question is which heavyweight was the most dominant in the last 20 years?
Vladimir.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
there's no.
mean, he became a world champion with the WBO, beating Chris Byrd in the year 2000. He was a unified champion in 2015. He made more defenses in that time than anybody else, beat more top 10 opponents. He was a unified world champion. When did he first become unified with like 3 belts because of the IBO? Was it against Ibragimov in 08? So he was a 7-year unified champion.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a very good point, Mark. Unified, because there's a difference, right? You can be a unified champion. You can be like Deontay Wilder. Everybody, is praises Wilder for having those 9 defenses, but he was only holding on to that piece of the heavyweight title. He had the WBC belt. That's it.
Between his first title run with the WBO and his next one, I think he made 23 title defenses in this decade. From 2000 to 2020, he made 23 defenses. He unified 3 belts. He was a unified champion for 7 years. I don't think it's a question, really. I mean, does he have the best wins? No, but the question's dominant, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, dominant.
Well, even the best wins, I think he would win with that. No, if you ask me who had the best wins as a heavyweight champion in the last 20 years,
who's Klitschko's best win? Povetkin, Chris Byrd,
David Haye.
David Haye, a cruiserweight champion.
Well, he was a cruiserweight, but he was. I mean, fuck, that guy had power. I mean, remember we're talking about Valuev. He almost knocked him out. He staggered him. And
I get that, but Valuev was shit and robbed a fucking 702-year-old Evander Holyfield. Let's keep it a buck. But if you want to go like the best win, I mean, on paper in the last 20 years, probably Hasim Rahman over Lennox Lewis.
Oh no, I was saying best wins, like as a heavyweight champion. I know because we're talking about domination, but within that domination, that period of domination, he had
then probably as a champion, probably Anthony Joshua over Klitschko himself.
Oh, we have a debate. Let's look at. Okay, so let's write this down. Hold on. Getting a piece of paper.
A lot of people will hate to say this, but on paper, wouldn't Lennox Lewis's win over Vitali be up there too?
Yeah.
On paper. That's a great name.
Yeah, but who has the biggest wins in the last 20 years? Like in terms of quantity, like Wladimir has a lot.
Vlad.
Okay, but you say
AJ's not been around long enough to touch him.
I got a question, Mark. I was talking to Butcher about that. Do you think Vladimir, I should say, do you think Vitaly allowed his brother Vladimir to have a more active career because they probably discussed it and decided to do that?
I'd say it'd be a possibility if it wasn't for the fact that Vitaly had like 15 fucking injuries through the 20 years.
Yeah, that's why.
He was injury plagued like a motherfucker. Dislocated shoulders, broken bones, fucking ruptured Achilles. I mean, dude had everything. That dude was David Haye before David Haye, only bigger and better.
Somebody's asking, didn't Lennox Lewis fight dirty against Klitschko? I think they were both the same. Was he dirty?
I wouldn't say dirty.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think so.
I'd say bending the rules, which Klitschko did too.
Well, Lennox was he loved that grabbing the back of the head and pulling his opponents down. Remember, and then uppercutting him.
He also loved leaning the forearm onto the chin.
The what?
So that he could push her, leaning his forearm in the pocket. Right, you're in the pocket. He pushes his forearm onto your chin to push it upwards so that he can catch you with that hook.
Oh, yeah.
The clench.
Yeah, he was kind of dirty, wasn't he? Chris K in the chat. Thank you for your contribution. He says, Butterbean, bro, speaking facts, bruh. Oh, he's talking about Jefe. Bro. Thank you, man.
Butterbean. Yeah, Butterbean's the best.
Well, he was
That's
the
a
king
good
of the
one.
4 rounds. So
The king of the 4 rounders. No, but look, you can't really put anybody up in the last 20 years against Vlad. Like if you put Lennox had 3 years. You know, the only one who you can really put in there with him is his own brother. And on resume, Vlad has it. Vitali's resume is terrible.
hey, is Joshua getting close in your opinion?
Dude's made what, 6 defenses?
Let's see. Klitschko, Takam, Parker, Povetkin, Ruiz, 4. Well, he lost
Ruiz is
against
in the defense. You also forgot Melita, Brazil.
Oh, you're right.
Go from Charles Martin onwards. Charles Martin, he won.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I forgot. I started counting at the Klitschko. Hold on. Charles Martin. So Dominic Brazil, Eric Molina, Vlad, Takam, Parker, Povetkin. Yep, 6.
So he's made 6 total defenses. Vlad made 23.
Okay. But all right. In terms of names, there's some pretty good names in there.
Well, Vlad has Povetkin just like AJ. Vlad has David Hay. AJ has Parker. Would you consider them comparable, Hay and Parker?
Yeah,
I mean, I know Hay was a cruiserweight, but he was a heavyweight champion, a 2-weight world champion. You know, so Joshua would probably need to be an Usyk.
You also got to consider that was a prime Povetkin.
That's true, but Joshua did beat him in a way better manner. To be fair, because Klitschko, you watched that fight, right? Gonzalo, have you ever watched it back?
Yeah, and Povetkin looked good in his last fight against the guy that went up from cruiserweight, the American guy,
Michael
Hunter. Yeah, he's looking good. So yeah, you got to give him credit in the fashion he did it. Although he got rocket feet, but we're not going to count that against him.
No, but like Joshua, he had a good win against Povetkin. But Vlad, he did beat a prime Povetkin. Vlad beat a prime Pulev, whatever the fuck that is, because we don't know. Because Pulev, we don't know how good that man is. We've never known. I mean, if you look at his resume, it's kind of crap as well, Vlad. He's got guys like Pianetta on there and shit.
So so Joshua has a better record. He has a better record. He has a better record than Tyson Fury.
Joshua?
Yeah.
Fury's got the better wins. On paper. People will say, well, how good is Wilder? How good were any of Joshua's opponents? You know? How good were they? We don't really know. Like, you can tear that resume apart. You can tear it apart. Fury's got 2 wins, or a win and a draw against Wilder and a win over Klitschko. Fury's actually beat a number 1 ranked heavyweight. Joshua never has at time of beating them.
Yeah, good points. Where do you rank Charles Martin?
Stab in the dark, maybe 17.
No,
yeah,
seriously.
27.
No, seriously, Chris Byrd. What about, we were talking about Chris Byrd earlier. Would you put him up there? And like, obviously not at the top of the best heavyweights in the last 20 years, but like in a B class?
He might have a claim to top 20, top 15. The last 20 years. He might have a claim. He's got some title defenses, doesn't he, Chris?
Well, top 20, that's too... I mean, come on. Who's ahead of Chris Byrd? I mean, okay, let's do this. Wladimir Klitschko, Vitaly. Who else did you have in there? Would you put David Hay above him? No, right?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Definitely top 20 for sure. Maybe top 15. I mean, Chris Byrd, he picked up the vacant IBF by beating Holyfield in 02, didn't he? And then he defended against Akendo, and he lost to Galata. He won it back against Jameel McCloy. And then he beat Williamson, and then he lost to Vlad. So he has what? 2 title defenses of the IBF. How many has he got up the WBO? He beat Vlad Vitaly for the WBO, but that was an injury. So he holds a victory over Vitaly in that 20-year period. He beat David to it. It's interesting, Bucho. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, also very good points. And here's another good point. Blue Collar Sports TV saying Chris Byrd beat Vitali, Tua, Jamil McCline, Holyfield. He's over
Yeah.
Wilder of the. So would you rate him above Wilder in the last 20 years? Chris
Ooh,
Byrd?
on those names.
I mean,
You
what do you
Yeah.
mean?
But let's say something real fast. That was a shot of Evander. Evander in 02 was past.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was past it. I mean,
Well, what about
yeah,
Ortiz?
he was coming off of the win over Hasim Rahman, but he was down on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards, I think. He was coming off of a trilogy with John Ruiz where there was a draw, a loss, and a win. I mean, he wasn't in the best vein of form. He was on the decline, Evander, but it is a great name. Go ahead, Bucho, sorry.
Oh yeah, well, Holyfield was past his prime, of course. But what about Luis Ortiz? I mean, you can make a. I mean, the guy is old. Coming off
Yeah.
two disgusting performances.
Well,
and then-
can I make a statement on that?
yes.
A Pasta Holyfield is a better name than Luis Ortiz.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry.
And here's the reason why. Evander Holyfield's a fucking Hall of Famer. He's a two-way undisputed heavyweight, like a two-way undisputed champion, cruiserweight and heavyweight. How many people can say that? Him. Only him. He has some of the best wins in the history of this sport. He's one of the best. I believe most people here would say Evander Holyfield is a top 10 fighter of the last 40 years.
I don't think anybody can disagree. Well, actually, I'm sure there's
It'd
people
be
who
hard
disagree
to
with
argue.
you.
Hard
But
to
come on.
argue. You go through that resume, it's Teflon.
He might have the greatest resume, yes, in the last 40 years up there.
He's up there. I mean, you'd be looking at Manny, Floyd, you'd be looking at Oscar and stuff like that. If you think from 1990 onwards, he beat Buster Douglas, George Foreman, Burt Cooper, Larry Holmes.
And if you combine the
only
work he
30
did at
years.
cruiserweight, if you combine the
if
work
you-
he did at
Dwight
cruiserweight,
Mahamakawi.
damn.
Yeah, like
Yep.
Dwight Mahamakawi, Henry Tillman, Carlos De Leon. This is all in the last 40 years. Michael Dokes, Pinklin Thomas,
Orlin Norris,
know?
did he fight Orlin Norris? Bobby Chit,
did he
all those
fight?
guys?
Like, his resume is fucking untouchable, man. It's one you cannot look at Evander Holyfield and treat him sacrilegiously. You know what I mean? Nobody can. You can't go at that and be like, well, it's this Bow. He beat Riddick Bowe. A cruiserweight beat Riddick Bowe.
Do people turn a blind eye and the fact that he supposedly, like, he took steroids? I don't know, maybe.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's alleged.
He looked pretty. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if he did. He looks like he did, but then again, it could be genetics. I don't know. By the way, so Kenshiro, thank you for your contribution. He says if Fury beat an undefeated AJ, that would be better. What do you think about that?
Well, how the fuck does he beat an undefeated AJ? AJ's already lost.
No, I think he's saying if he would, because they're gonna probably fight in the future, right? And if Fury would have beaten AJ, that would have been better for Fury. Well, a better win, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, but if he does beat AJ, look, if he beats AJ and becomes the first 4-belt undisputed champion, he's already beaten Wilder in his backyard. He beat Klitschko in his backyard. I mean, he's the first person in history to end 2 10-plus title defense streaks in heavyweight history. Let that sink in. Like, that's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, whether like it's padded records or not, he ended those streaks. He did it away from home.
Yeah,
I mean,
away from home. Yeah.
Like that, I do believe in that road warrior shit. If you're on the road and you're managing to get these victories, you're doing something. Because it's not easy to win in someone's garden.
Yeah, you're playing away.
In their own house.
Absolutely.
So Fury's done great things, sure. But he's never done anything else. I mean, if those 2 wins he currently has, that's what he has. That's it. Wilder and Klitschko. I mean, it's great. It's fantastic. But that's it. There's nothing else. There's no level of substance. There's no consistency. There's no proof of being a champion. There's proof of being a great rise to the occasion fighter. Where's the champion? Where's the dude who can go out there and like he has to defeat Wilder again. Like whether people like there were a lot of people before that second fight saying Wilder could knock him out. They're all like, nah, he can't do it. Where's is right hand power gone to now? Just because Fury won, he can't do it now all of a sudden. Where's it gone to?
Well,
if you thought that he could knock him out, you should still think he can knock him out.
Yeah, no.
Everything, Mark.
Go ahead, Steve.
Can you hear me, Butcher?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I've got quite a bad sound here. All right, boys, how are you getting on? I agree with everything Mark said. That the facts are Tyson Fury. There's a couple of big occasions there, and then a lot of wasted time, and a lot of nonsense with these chumps. And let's be real, what do you need to fight Derek Chisora twice? No, you don't. But I think Fury was robbed of his big breakthrough against David Haye twice. And I think if he'd have beat David Haye, I think that he could have. At that time, he could have jumped on the momentum, and I think we'd have had some better names on the record. Let's just say that. So that's the problem with Fury. Like I said, I think what Mark said is true, but it doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. It just means I think that Anthony Joshua win is a must for Fury. I think to cement.
Well, he's still in his prime, right? Still, he's only like 30 years old, so he has plenty of time.
I don't think he's in.
The thing is, though, this guy is not a normal human being. I mean, this guy could be on top of the world 1 minute and bottom of the barrel the next. So when you've got that sort of mindset, boxing is probably the most stressful trade in the world. Like, forget the training, the dieting, everything else. It's the pressure that's on you, especially when you've got millions of people watching you fight. I mean, as a man, is there anything more embarrassing than getting knocked the fuck out in front of people? It takes a lot of, honestly, most fighters I speak to, that's what they worry about the most. So, and can you imagine going to sleep every night knowing you've got someone like Mike Tyson? You're going to fight someone like Mike Tyson. I mean, how are you going to sleep when you've got someone like that coming at you? And that's a lot of these guys. That's the problem, I mean, it's very. You've got to be very strong mentally to stay at the top for a long time, and that's why Vlad did it. Because when you look at Vlad, I mean, robot. Let's be real, great fighter, but like the way he carries himself, it's a typical Soviet old school upbringing sort of thing, where it's very militant and very, like I said, very disciplined. Vlad didn't fucking drink. Vlad was training. Look at the shape Vlad was in. And
was also a very smart man.
Of course he was. A very intelligent man. But that's why Vlad stayed at the top, because he didn't let the distraction, get in the way. He wasn't, he wasn't going out getting pissed up. He wasn't fucking, crashing Ferraris.
How do you know Wilder's not? How do you know Wilder's not mentally strong?
Fucking, I've got eyes and they work.
Well, yeah. we should give Wilder a chance, people. I mean, we should wait and see.
There's more evidence that Wilder's mentally retarded than mentally strong.
He's mentally tough, but he's just delusional, and that's where his mistake lies.
Yeah,
the delusion.
No, but Stu brings a good point, because after the fight, this is the moment where Wilder could have shown us that he's mentally strong. If he would have said, I lost the fight, but I'm gonna come back, and instead of saying things like that, he starts saying, he starts creating all these excuses. He makes that Instagram video where he looks like a fucking nut job, saying that, I'm still your king. So you're right, Stu. He's not showing us any indications that he's gonna be back mentally.
And you know what he could have done?
What did I say to you about the bully boy mentality of a fighter?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The thing is, a lot of big punches, right? They look machines when they're landing shots and knocking people out. But a lot of them, when they're taking shots themselves and getting backed up, they fall to pieces. You've only got to see how Mike Tyson used to react when he was getting pieced up. He was one of the greatest, most explosive fighters of any era. So, punches, it's in their head, because they're just used to tapping people and they just fall over. Get stuck in a mindset where all you got to do is just keep doing the same things. Like Wilder, he had that mindset where you just keep doing the same things, keep landing the same shots, and they're going to fall over. But one day you're going to come up with a guy who's worked you out, who can take a shot, who can back you up, and that's when you see the true warriors. That's why Nigel Benn, I've got nothing but respect for Nigel Benn, because he was a bully boy, a puncher, a big puncher. But when he was taken to the trenches, he came out swinging, and I respect that.
He'd be willing to die in those trenches with you.
What?
Nigel Benn's the type of guy who'd be willing to die in the trenches with you.
Oh, mate, Nigel Benn would be one of the first. If someone was, say, name 5 fighters you'd want in the trenches, Nigel Benn would be on that list, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's mental strength. Remember when Cotto said that
it certainly wouldn't be Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he'd be running with the French army, wouldn't he? He would.
No. We love the French. Well, go ahead, Gonzalo.
No, I was just going to say, you got to build your house on a strong foundation. And when you're making excuses and doing all the things that Wilder is doing, it's got to tell you his foundation isn't strong and that house is going to collapse again.
Good point.
Yeah. He don't know where the Mahon is, Gonzalo. He's trying to build he's trying to build a fucking foundation. Don't know where the Mahon is. By the way, your fucking whole setup out there in the Philippines is coming along real nice, man. I like it. I'm glad you're posting those update videos, Gonzalo.
Oh, thanks, man.
I bet Gonzalo's the one that's fucking. He's the one that's setting up all them dating sites, isn't he, from the Philippines and ripping all these fucking single men off. I bet Gonzalo's the head man.
Try to stay loyal to only one woman.
Hang on a second. Well,
that's why you're hooking everybody fucking else up with those dating sites. Like,
hang on a minute while I get my bucket. Get out of here, man.
All right, hold on. Go ahead.
I was just going to say a bit of advice. As a man, you only live once. You could be gone tomorrow. Go through these girls like doorways. Don't sit there being a simp, fucking doing as you're told.
Oh man,
being a simp, doing as you're told, handing your bank card over, sitting there watching fucking soaps. Get out with your slippers on. Get out of here. Go and be a man. Enjoy the rest of your life and enjoy yourself with girls. But for a couple of nights, after a while, get them gone. You don't want them around you. They'll make you miserable.
Excellent. Yeah, dude. It's the truth.
All right, guys, we have a phone call. 610. You're on the air. 610.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Jackson. How's everybody doing?
What's up, Action Jackson? What's on your mind?
Action Jackson, welcome aboard, bud.
What's good, guys? I just wanted to bring up like 2 topics because I know Stu ranks Lennox Lewis. I think is his top heavyweight, I believe. I definitely got him in my top 5, but
yeah, that's.
And I was kind of like comparing his like resume to Ali's, and I would have to put Ali as number 1 because like of who he beat. Like even out of his prime, he was beating like Ernie Shavers, really tough guys. And I went back. And hold on.
Ernie Shavers looked like Morgan Freeman in there. Get out of there, man.
Wait, what did you say?
I said Ernie Shavers was looking like Morgan Freeman in there. Get out of here, man. Saying Ernie Shavers, well past it, man.
Yeah, he was one of the hardest punching. I mean, the guy could hit. I mean, he wasn't past it, but Ali was past it, and he still beat him. That was what's impressive. And I went back and I looked at that Henry Cooper fight, and Stu, that only, you know how they said they cut the glove? That only, like I've studied it, you can watch the fight, it only saved him 3 to 6 seconds. So it didn't make any difference in that fight.
Hey, actually, if you look at it, it took him 20 minutes to find another glove. What are you fucking on about, bro?
It took him 6.
Okay, well, somebody has to be wrong.
They didn't find. You can look it up. You can watch the fight.
You tell me how anyone could find a boxing glove and put it on a hand in 4 seconds.
That.
No, just explain. No, Jackson, hang on a minute here. You're making a claim. I'm telling you this. How long would it take you to put a boxing glove on? Find one. No, you got to find one first. You're in a boxing ring, in a fight. Find a glove and put one on. How long would it take you?
They didn't change
And
gloves.
You telling me 4 seconds?
Jackson, but I also think that during those 4 seconds, his trainer held something under his nose so he would clear his head. I forget what that substance is called.
The smelling salts. That's where you
Hey,
can say.
listen, I want to get Mark in on here because, like, Mark will know this. Mark, you tell the story because I'm not 100%, but I'm sure that was like 15, 20 minutes of waiting for a glove.
Well, which fight? Because I blanked out.
Ali Cooper.
The first Henry
Ali
Cooper.
Cooper.
Fight.
Yeah,
Ali
so
versus-
off of the left hook,
remember,
Ali
they
goes
didn't
over to the
change
corner.
the glove.
Dundee cuts the glove. In the chopped up footage on YouTube that you now have today, it is 4 seconds. In the original fight, it was 16 and a half minutes reported in newspapers.
Whoa!
Thank you.
I just
Thank you,
no,
Mark.
no, Mark, you're wrong. I just read this like on 3 different sources. It was
Listen,
3
don't tell,
they didn't
don't, Jackson,
change the
Jackson,
glove.
please, Jackson.
Hmm.
Listen,
I can bring up
Mark knows his
articles and
stuff,
I can
bro.
show you.
I mean,
You can't show Mark anything.
hold on.
Mark knows
Let
his
him go.
stuff.
Let him go. You can show me the 3 sources, right? And I can go up over the next couple of days and I can upload onto another channel so I don't get copyrighted that entire 16 and a half minute period of them looking around for a glove. And we can see if your sources are more right than the
16
footage.
and a half minutes. They didn't. What happened was the glove tore, and Angelo Dundee was like, "Oh, we need new glove." And then the ref like kind of just like wandered around for a second. Then Dundee goes, "Actually, no, these are fine." So it was like
Jackson,
a 6-second delay.
Angelo Dundee admitted to cutting the glove. He admitted to cutting the glove, Jackson. What are you talking about? He admitted that he cut the glove and he sat there with a smile on his face like a Cheshire cat.
Are you reporting about the? Are you talking about the chopped up footage that's on YouTube, Jackson? The chopped up footage.
Wait, what?
I watched
Not the official fight footage, not the full thing, just the chopped up one of edited videos.
Yeah, I watched footage on VHS back in the 90s.
And how
Everybody's
long
right
was it,
about that.
Gonzalo?
A long time. They had to get new gloves, right? And Angelo Dundee, he made the cut worse, the opening on the glove.
Yeah, but they didn't really change gloves. They kept using the same gloves. He just made the ref aware that there was a rip, and he was like, "Never
That's
mind.
rubbish.
We'll
Hey,
use
Jackson,
these gloves."
Jackson, that's a load of
But
rubbish,
yeah,
load of nonsense. Look, no, I'm not letting you carry on. You can't just come on here and make shit up. Go and do your research. Ring up next show, and we'll discuss this together.
All right, listen, Jackson.
Fair enough.
Yeah, go.
Come on, Jackson, bro.
Listen, bring back more evidence, and then we'll discuss this next time. Anything else?
Thank you, bro.
Fair enough. Well, I just wanted to say also, like, Ali's resume compared to Lennox, I was going to say, I just think he beat the tougher fighters when he was in and out of his prime, Frazier, Foreman. So I think you kind of have to rank Ali up there because the level of opposition. And yeah, I do rank Lennox very high. And but
yeah,
I
think. Do you know what I think it is, Jackson? I think why I rate him so highly because I grew up in the Lennox Lewis era, and I watched him come up from like early stages of career, and I know what this guy is. Such a talent. The thing is with Lennox Lewis, he was too laid back, lethargic sometimes, and that was his probably. And he made fights look messy and boring. The Americans didn't like him. They just didn't. They never rated this guy. But when you look at that resume, I mean, they might not mean anything to you, but to me at the time, these guys, I mean, he fought all the young warriors coming through, all the big knockout artists. He fought the guys with the best chins. He fought the best boxers. He fought he fought everybody. He even fought a Vitaly Klitschko coming through. A guy like Vitaly on his last. Let me finish. On his last legs, the guy was done, shot to pieces, and he fucking still beat Vitaly. That's how good Lennox Lewis was, mate. Revenged his defeat apart from the McCall, that was a mess, but in style against Ratman. And look, beat everyone else put in front of him. And Riddick Bowe ducked him, chucked the belt in the bin because he beat Riddick Bowe in the Olympics as well. So this guy got to be top 3 in anyone's list. Or top 5. I can handle top 5.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, Stu. Yeah, he's definitely I mean, he was the best of his era. I mean, he proved it beating, I mean, yeah, I got him top 5 because you got Larry Holmes, Joe Louis, you know, Rocky Marciano, you know, you got those guys. And
yeah,
so,
but Jackson, those guys are
I'd say
all in my
top
list
5.
of the top 5. Those names you just mentioned are all in my list, are top 5. But Lennox has got to be there. You know, he has to be there. Larry Holmes was
he
Larry
owned
Holmes
his
was a
era.
tremendous fighter.
Yeah, I agree, Stu.
Listen, I've got no problem with
But,
someone saying to me Lennox Lewis is not top 3, but top any lower than top 5, then they have to fucking give their head a wobble.
Yep, I agree, Stu. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say. But I'm gonna leave some sources in the chat that will show you guys that it was 3 to 6 seconds, and that's all I'm gonna do. All right, guys.
All right, thanks for
I'll
calling.
show you my research.
All right.
All right, guys.
Hey, listen, hey.
Yeah.
Butcho, Pacquiao in the chat
next
saying
coming
Lennox
days.
wasn't shot when he fought Vitali. Well, that's funny because he never fought after that ever again. So that tells me he was shot. What's wrong with Pacquiao?
All right, hold on. Yeah,
this guy.
Well, he came in at over 260 pounds. I think the highest weight of his career. I remember them saying that. So obviously there was something not right with Lennox Lewis.
Listen, like I said, I followed Lennox Lewis. I was as a young kid, I was staying up to watch Lennox Lewis. When he fought Frank Bruno, I was.
Oh, did we lose Stu?
Did we?
Stu, we lost you, man. We lost you.
I still see the green ring around Stu's name, so it's indicating that he's making noise.
No,
I don't know, that's weird. Discord's weird. I had if we're not hearing Stu anymore, if that's the end of his point, if he comes back in, I'll let him keep going. But I got an idea, actually, a rule modification that we can put into boxing that, you know, I think would be, you guys would be very welcome to. And I know this might be controversial. And it kind of relates to what Jackson was saying, right? With, oh, he only got this much time to wait. He only got that much time to wait. You know, in instances like this, you know, if there's a controversial moment in a fight, we'll argue this guy had some extra time to wait here, right? The doctor was checking him out. Or say, like, you know, you low blow your opponent and he wants to take 2-3 minutes to, you know, till his balls don't hurt anymore. You're over there resting just the same as him. So he's not getting an advantage. You are. Stu left. So I think if you low blow your opponent, for instance, and they're over there waiting a couple minutes, you should be in the neutral corner doing star jumps or jumping jacks here in the U.S., you know, doing some kind of calisthenic so you're not really resting.
That's a good point. That's a fucking good point. Revolution, man.
Holy shit.
That's a I mean, let's be real, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, is Floyd Mayweather going to sit there and do star jumps when he's low blows someone? Yeah, he's not going to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's a ridiculous thought, but it's true. You know, one guy.
If that rule was in place, Andre Ward would still be doing fucking star jumps when he did the
Oh my goodness. Past retirement. He's serving a sentence.
Stu, who's your best heavyweight boxer in the last 20 years?
What, the last 20 years?
Yeah.
I would have to say Wladimir Klitschko.
Okay.
See, a lot of people preferred Vitali. When I was like early on in the boxing scene, boxing community was really small. But a lot of people they rated Vitali and just didn't seem to rate Vlad. But I always rated Vlad a little bit higher than Vitali. Was just tougher. Vitali could take a massive shot and he hit harder. But for boxing IQ, and I just always rated Vlad. I did.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is with Vlad, man, every time he had a chance to shine in America, he stunk the fucking joint out, man. You know, and that was his problem. You know, that's why the heavyweight division sort of like died of death, because Vlad, he had his chance to fucking. And like I said, this is a big, strong Ivan Drago looking motherfucker. Could have made a good name for himself, but he went in there and fought like fucking. Oh, it was dreadful, wasn't it? I mean, when you're making Brian Jennings look like Joe Fraser, then there's something not right, is there? You know what I mean? So that was Vlad's problem. But honest, I mean, you only have to look how good Vlad was, but how he fought Joshua. I mean, he was shot to pieces when he fought Joshua, but he caused Joshua all the problems in the world. If he just had a little bit more in his tank, he'd have stopped Joshua. So look, that's how good Vlad was. Vlad was terrible against Fury. The thing with Vlad, though, Vlad was always waiting for the perfect shot, and against Fury, you can't fight like that because he's twitchy and he's faints, and you end up doing nothing, and that's what Vlad did. Sort of got it nicked off him. So that's my problem with Vlad. But yeah, I'd have to say Wladimir Klitschko. What about you, unrivaled Mark?
Where is he? Oh, he dropped out. He said, I asked him a question before, and he said the same thing, Wladimir. I don't think that there's a debate here. I mean, if you don't have Wladimir, then who the hell do you have? This is the thing, though. It's not really debatable, but what we can debate is after, like in the lower levels, B level heavyweights.
Or we could, just kind of try to come to a consensus, work our way to a top 20. Let's get the top 5 down, then let's go from there to the top 10.
Top 20 heavyweights. Good luck with that one. At the end of the day, it's only just started getting a bit of shine again. Like I said, Vlad sort of like, in Europe, we loved it, but everywhere else, Vlad sort of like killed the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? So, it needed like Fury and Joshua sort of to open it up again. But it's a shame Vlad was just a bit past his best when all these young fighters come through, because he would have fought them all. Wladimir Klitschko's never ducked a challenge in his life, and he would have fought Wilder. He'd have fought. Well, he had fought Joshua and Fury, in his prime, and he would have given a much better performance. I mean, he'd have stopped Joshua, he'd have knocked Wilder, Sparko, and I think he would have done the job on Joshua as well. So that's how good Vlad is.
True. I mean, he could have retired after that Tyson Fury fight. Why did he fight AJ?
I mean, when he was all the build up against Vlad and Joshua, everyone was saying, "Oh, look at the shape Joshua's in. He's a monster and all that." But go and look at them physiques. Wladimir Klitschko's physique was far better than Joshua's. If you know anything about muscle tone and physiques, Wladimir was like, his physique's far better than Joshua's. Joshua's just water and muscle. It just didn't look right for me. But that's how Wladimir 40 years keeping himself in that sort of shape just tells you everything about the guy.
Yeah.
Who did Vlad face the most adversity against, and come and overcome at the same time?
Overcome. See, the thing is, like I said, early on in his career, Vlad was very exciting, but the problem was he used to go toe to toe and get caught, and then just fell to pieces. I mean, he was falling all over the place. It was like Primo Cadera all over again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But when Emmanuel Stewart got hold of him, he just become a really, really top fighter. I mean, look what he did to David. And David Haye was, say what you like about David Haye, around them times, David Haye was a fucking beast. You know what I mean? And a lot of people thought he'd knock Vlad out, and he beat David Haye. He won every second of that fight. A very hard man to hit clean as well. A very hard man to hit clean. So look, the most adversity he's probably faced was Joshua, I think, and I think his tank let him down, because if you look at that fight again, he was close to stopping Joshua, but he just didn't have enough in his tank to get the job done, and he was hitting Joshua bombs. But look, I mean, fair play to Joshua, because that right hand he landed on Wladimir Klitschko. If Wilder took that shot, then he'd be next to Michael Schumacher in the fucking intensive heavyweight.
Well, let's even dial it back then. So who did Wladimir? Who did you guys expect to beat Wladimir? You know what I mean? And to compare it, like Lomachenko, a lot of people said Nicholas Walters was going to beat him. Or
I put 500 quid on Povetkin.
Damn. Okay. So that was an impressive win. So he didn't get dominated.
No, listen, that was a good win, but that was a horrible fight to watch.
Yeah,
it was also a horrible way of winning, and I still feel I should have won my money via disqualification.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was disgusting.
He did
What
the
the hell
same.
was
He
that?
did the same to David Hay though. Everyone kept going on about David Hay falling over, but that's what Vlad does. He just leans and takes your legs from you, and they're like jelly before you know it. He's just pushing you over. I mean, he did that to Povetkin. Povetkin looked like, I mean, Povetkin was a monster at that time. And Povetkin he went in his shell, didn't he? He just fell to pieces, and that's what Vlad does. He just frustrates you and like sort of takes your fucking tank from you and then finishes you. Vlad's never really sparked someone clean out with a big shot early on. It's always later on he just takes you out, and that's what he does. But yeah, I mean, he's got some. Look, when you look at when you look at what he did to Pulev, Pulev was like a dangerous guy at the time, and he absolutely fucking mutilated Pulev, and I think that's probably his best performance I've ever seen from Vlad. But he's fought them all. When you think he fought David Hay, he's fought Povetkin, he's fought everyone. He's fought Joshua, he's fought Fury. You know, the list just goes on and on with this guy. I mean, when people knock Vlad, I can't accept it.
Well, here's the thing. He first picked up a world title in the year 2000, and he was a world champion in 2015. He made 23 title defenses. He was 7 years as a unified champion. You can't knock that. You can't.
I think the problem with Vlad was he just got stuck in comfort mode. You know, when you fucking put your car in comfort mode. That's what he got caught. You know, he was just getting the job done. You know, and he did because the Germans. I mean, you could fucking mate. The Germans will watch anything. I mean, you could stick two guys pissed up outside a pub, stick them in a ring. The Germans would fill the house out. I mean, they just sit there. You know, they're fucking like zombies, aren't they? They've got no standards when it comes to boxing, and they loved all that. What Vlad was doing. I mean, everyone else in the world hated it, but you know that's why he did it. Got away with Germany, filling stadiums. He made a lot of money, and he got caught in comfort mode, and where he felt he didn't have to entertain anyone anymore, like Floyd did. Floyd just felt, oh, I'm getting paid. I don't have to entertain anyone.
One thing though for Vlad that kind of does suck from is he was a giant amongst dwarfs. Do you know what I mean? He had a lot of solid guys, but all of them were smaller than him except for fucking Vac that he fought against, you know, up until he lost. Like, he was fighting a lot of guys who were smaller than him.
Yeah.
A lot of them were fat Americans, let's be honest. There was a lot of fat Americans on that list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you go through his best wins, you've got Chris Byrd, you've got Povetkin, you've got Pulev, and
Francois Botha.
Fuck off. Get the white buffalo out of here. He was shot on the lab on. Like, and David Hay. David Hay was probably, like, if you look at it, like the most athletically well built kind of guy, you know, that he fought against during that time. It's kind
I think David Hay at the time was probably the most dangerous guy in that division, and Vlad just played with him.
Well, he had a toe. No, but hold on. He had a toe injury.
Oh, yeah, right. Toe injury, mate. Listen, that guy's such a poser, right? He's such a fucking poser, that guy. That guy put muscle on to look good for the ladies. Because let's be real, David A, I'm no faggot, but David A's a good-looking guy. The ladies like him, and he plays on it. He put all this fucking muscle on to look good, and his legs couldn't handle the weight, because he's a cruiserweight. They reckon this guy used to feed himself up just to make the weight on the scales. He's never been a heavyweight in his life, and when you start putting weight on that your body can't carry, your legs start to go. That's when your knees give up. That's when, you know, ankles and everything else and hamstrings. This is why David Hay looked like fucking Forrest Gump in there against Bellew, because that muscle he was too top heavy. His legs couldn't carry that sort of weight, especially the way David Hay fights on the back, but on his legs, bending down explosives.
Yeah,
you know,
that's where it's a little bit like what happened with Mike Tyson as well. When he started putting on more weight as he got older, when he started weighing in at 230 or stuff like that, that was just too heavy for his frame.
Look, yeah, exactly. Look how poor Wilder looked when he put that weight against Fury. Look how quick his legs went. Look how quick his legs went.
I would love to see a fight between David Hay and Roy Jones. That would have been a good fight. I think David Hay would have won, right?
Listen, David Hay would have put Roy Jones in a coma if he'd have landed.
Roy Cohn's in a Joma.
Do you not remember when Enzo Macronelli put Roy Jones in a coma, bro?
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Fucking Roy Jones, he must have been about 70 in that night. I mean,
Roy Jones was shot in 2006, mate.
I mean, Roy Jones had to get a fucking Russian passport to get a fight.
Yo, he was on a knockout tour. That was pretty sad though.
Oh.
He was like,
watch
me get knocked out.
If Jones had got caught, even in his prime, I think the chin would have given up on him. It was just that he was so athletic and quick and explosive. He never got really caught with big shots. But as soon as someone landed clean on him, I don't think Roy's ever had a good chin.
How crazy is it to think that Roy only retired in 2016?
I can't hear you, Mark.
Whoa.
Say that again.
How crazy is it to think that Roy only retired in 2016?
I think it was very sad to see. Very fucking sad to see, man. Like, you know, that guy. I just don't like it when all time.
Wait, it's 2018. Holy shit, he fought in 2018.
I was gonna say. I was going to correct you, Mark, but I just kind of assumed you knew it.
No. 2018.
He can't be wrong.
I mean, just to think, this guy, one of the all-time greats. You know, our children or grandchildren are going to look at this guy. They're going to hear about, check Roy Jones out. They're going to look at his resume and there's defeats against Enzo Macronelli and people. This guy should have quit years ago. That's what I mean about Lennox Lewis. Very smart, man. He knew that Vitali would get him in the rematch. Got out of there. He didn't want to be because you're only as good as your last fight. That's why Holyfield's ruined his fucking legacy. When you think of Holyfield, you just that old man getting beat up. You know, you don't think of all the great fights he had because you only remember the last fights, and that's when all these greats carry on and they just ruin their legacies. You know, and I don't like it, and I think that's why Lennox did the right thing.
Stu, one of the first boxing matches I saw on TV was Riddick Bowe versus Billy Zumbrin.
I don't even remember.
I remember watching. I remember staying up to watch Evander Holyfield, right, versus smoking Burt Cooper. And I looked at this Burt Cooper's record. I was like, oh, where the fuck did they find this guy?
Do you tell me was?
Turned out.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, it actually turned out to be a fucking great fight. Burt Cooper rocked Holyfield to his boots, man. And, you know, and I remember them. So that's why I love boxing back in the 90s. You just can't compare it, man. I mean, even people like Burt Cooper, who, when you look at his record, journeyman fucking record, but he'd go in there and give people a real hard night. There was so many tough guys back then. You know, they weren't falling over and fucking quitting like they do today. You know, tough guys, man. That's
I thought you told me like on Skype that one of the first championship fights that you saw was Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, or something like that. So, what?
Wait, what? You're trying to say that Stu's like 70 years old, bro? I thought it was like fucking 58 years ago.
Nah, Stu's my age. He's like 40,
that was
right?
a joke.
41.
Jesus Christ, man. It was a lame joke. But what Stu was talking about Roy Jones and how sad it was watching him get all beat up. That's the difference between boxing and any other sport, right? Because take soccer, football. You know, you have an old player. He looks slow and shit. He's missing headers and stuff fine. But in boxing, it's different. I mean, you're gonna see this legend get destroyed. You know?
Yeah, you're gonna see an old man get beat up.
Yeah.
The thing is, in boxing, right? In boxing, just losing half a yard, just losing a little bit of speed, is the difference between
life and death,
winning a fight and sleeping on the canvas. And that's the problem with boxing. It's not a game. It's not a game. It's not a game you play, and this is the problem with a lot of fighters, man. And that's why when you hear them interview, I mean, it's like, listen, well, they can't fucking string a sentence together. That just shows you they took too many shots. You know, fighters don't know how to.
Yeah, in FIFA and soccer, you could put a legend in like for 15 minutes only.
Yeah,
like a farewell, you know.
You know, the saddest person to listen give an interview today is Riddick Bowe, man.
Oh, Riddick fucking
James Toney,
mate, Riddick Bowe.
Not Riddick Bowe.
It's so sad listening to him now, bro. It's so sad.
But you know, he had a short career. He had like
listen, Andrew Gallotta did that to him. Andrew Gallotta did that to him. Trust me, 2 fights like that, the shots he was taking against Gallotta, them sort of fights, you never bounce back from them. They're ending career fights. They are, and that's what happened. Simple as.
To the fucking point where Aries Spears is making fun of Riddick Bowe.
Bodadu.
Yeah, do what I'm Bowe to do. But we were talking about
Riddick Bowe, though, for a fat guy, Riddick Bowe had good speed, and his boxing IQ was tremendous. But the thing with Riddick Bowe, he used to get dragged into wars, and that, I mean, Holyfield had no business fucking beating him in that second fight. Holyfield was like half the size of him. I mean, just getting dragged into wars with Holyfield, got dragged into wars with Galata. I mean, let's be real, Galata pieced him up in both fights to me.
Kind of tragic, really, that he fought like that, still, because the dude, if he had wanted to, he could have won those fights on the jab. Riddick Bowe's jab is underrated like hell.
Exactly.
Guys, who do you think who aged more gracefully? Not graced more agefully. Who aged more gracefully? Roy Jones or...
Well, not him. I don't even know the other one, but it's not Roy.
Depends what you mean age gracefully, as in fought well or is still speaking very well, because Roy's speaking kind of okay.
Well, that's why. You could slice this one a couple ways, and these guys are peers. James Toney. James Toney,
Roy Jones.
James Toney retired he had a fight in 2017, retired in 2018.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to James Toney speak?
Yes, but James Toney's never been knocked out.
Listen, we're not talking about knockouts. Go and have a conversation with the guy, see if he's well or not.
But to me, James Toney.
I love
James Toney, even though he mumbles, he found his speaking like that to where he's still entertaining to listen to.
He's still witty. They'd be like, "Hey, I don't know who the fucking guy's name is. The high pitched voice guy who talks to all the boxers.
Ellie Sekbak.
Yeah, Ellie Sekbak. So, what do you think of David Hay? David who? Gay? David Gay? He's a hoe. He's an English faggot."
James Toney's the one that said that famous saying, isn't it? Every fighter in England, they're all bums. Can you remember when he said that?
Yeah, on TV. Yeah.
Can you remember the boxing voice used to play that?
Yeah,
they used to play that on their intro, and that was James Toney when he was. There was a big. Like I said, Ben Eubank were fighting, and there was a big fucking build up on one of the big shows like Parkinson or something, and they got James Toney on from on camera sort of thing. He was there with Mickey Rourke when he was when Mickey Rourke was the manager, and he was calling them out, and that's when that that famous saying was said. He says, "Everyone in England, you're all bums," and the fucking whole audience started laughing, sort of thing. But they're fights I'd have loved to see, but they never happened. I'd love to see Ben against Toney and Eubank, but just never happened.
I'll say this though: this will tell you what type of a don James Toney is. James Toney can call every fighter in the UK a bum and can still appreciate James. I'm telling you, man, that dude's a don.
One of the best shit talkers ever, too. I mean,
no, I don't know anybody who hates James Toney. Does anybody? Do you know anyone who hates James Toney as a fighter?
I love James Toney. Listen, James Toney in his day was a tremendous fighter. I mean, really, really top notch fighter. I mean, look, James Toney is that fucking dumb. He got in a cage with Randy Couture. I mean, look, this guy. This is how. No, what he did. I mean, who does that? I mean, look, this guy will fight.
I don't know if it was dumb or proud. I don't know.
No, it's dumb. That's fucking dumb. Because look, when you're his age, past your best, getting in a cage with Randy Couture, who's the UFC champion by the way at the time, he's gonna get wrestled and manhandled. James Toney fight any man, any discipline. He's just nuts. But that's why people like him.
Do you know what?
In a weird way. Sorry, Rev. In a weird way, I respect the fact that he was a fat, blown up old heavyweight, and he was still game fighting these natural heavyweights. I respect that because it just tells you how good of a talent he was.
Well, I heard a lot of people say he was a football player early on in his life, and he was heavier in high school and shit.
I think that's
boxing,
bullshit.
Lost weight.
Really? Yeah, that was Freddie Roach said that.
The thing is, James
Toney,
James Toney's a natural boxer, natural fighter. I was born in it. You don't. What James Toney does in a boxing ring, you don't teach that in in camp.
No,
he's a natural talent. So let's be real. He did what he's best at, and he's a very good fighter. The problem with James Toney, another one, hanging around too long, can't let it go. Before you know it,
He had the worst.
He's got a 15 IQ.
Yes, he had the worst. I mean, that's doing. I mean, yeah, I was listening. He had the worst in sparring, where he would actually get beat up in sparring, and that's how he would learn. But he would actually carry what he learned in sparring into an actual.
That's so true. Lennox Lewis was another one. Go and watch Lennox Lewis spar. You would think it was fucking Audley Harrison in there. I mean, the guy just looked useless. The guy looked absolutely fucking useless because he was in first, second gear, learning things. The best do that. What? I mean, these guys that go in there and fucking swinging and fucking, giving it their all in sparring, man. Them guys just narcissists, trying to prove themselves. But why go in there and fucking take it all out of yourself in camp? That's when they're in a big fight, they get to the big occasion, they got nothing left. They left it in camp. The best fighters like Lennox Lewis, people like that, just trained and basically built the training up slowly, very lethargic, but took his time. And the sparring looked dreadful, but when it comes to fight night, different sort of man. And that's what separates the legends of the sport and the other guys.
John Gonzalez, thank you for your contribution. He says, love Toney, even though he called Mexican fighters bums, and that style sucked.
Dude, he talks shit about everybody.
He called
Toney diss personally.
He called English people bums as well.
My God, so many great quotes.
A bum, bro.
You know who James Toney's like? This might be a weird comparison. He's like Adrian Broner if he just kind of chilled the fuck out and wasn't annoying. Just talk shit, did his thing, but like wasn't like acting out in public and embarrassing himself. But because James Toney has this impenetrable, he has this impenetrable ego that even if he loses to you, I beat your ass.
You want to know something though? There's a difference. There's one prime difference. James Toney's good enough to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can back it up.
James Toney has to be he has to be saved from himself, and that's why he can't get a license. He can't get a fight for toffee. I mean, and that's why when you look at James Toney and you're doing a medical, does this look like a guy that needs a few more punches in the face? You just don't. And look, he's had his time. James Toney could have been a lot better than what he was. Let's just say that he was a real top fighter, but lifestyle and other things, that's just how it is with fighters. Some of the best talents don't fucking want it. Some of the, and then you get someone like Vlad who hasn't got the most talents, but works at everything he can do and masters it and reigns for how long? That's just how it is with fighters. You've got to use your best tools, and with James Toney, he just didn't, did he?
How crazy is it to think though that this middleweight became an obese man, beat the crap out of Evander?
Yeah,
with skills. That was a case of skills pay the bills.
Of course it is. That's like I said with James Toney. That's natural talent what he had, but he just didn't. He could have been twice the fighter he was. I don't care what anyone says. He could have been twice the fighter.
Where did James Toney take all of this fucking damage that he got the CTE and marble mouth?
I don't think he actually has CTE.
Okay.
But the mumble mouth and shit, yeah. Where did he take it from? Probably from 92 fights, going from middleweight to heavyweight across 22 years, and actually getting punched in the head by guys like Mike.
Yeah.
From Mike McCollum to Hasim Rahman, bro.
So it was just a big long spread out. It wasn't like a few fights where he took
sparring. The sparring too.
Sparring.
Because
when you're used to getting hit by middleweights all your life, and then a heavyweight lands, it's a different kettle of fish altogether. I got a mate who's he's like a super middleweight, light heavyweight. He's done like 5 or 6 fights. Very, very, very talented guy, right? But he got put in there with a cruiserweight one, and I said, "Don't take the fight." He was talking to me about it. I said, "Don't take the fight, man." He's like, "Why?" I go, "Because that cruiserweight would be a heavyweight on the night. You hit me. Them guys hit hard." He's like, "I'm going to take the fight." Got knocked out in a round, and this is a good fight. But there's a reason we have weight divisions. When you go up and fight these heavyweight guys, they tap you, and you just tell the difference. And James Toney was fighting a middleweight all his life. Next minute, he's fighting these big punches, and he's got such a good chin. He's holding these shots, but let's be real, the damage is done. Look at him, brain damage, doesn't he?
What do you think of Vitaly Klitschko? Bitch. What do you think of Wladimir Klitschko? Bitch. The Klitschko sisters.
John Gonzalez, thank you for your contribution. He says, going into fights, weight drained, played a part too. Who was going in weight drained? James Toney? Probably.
Well, heavyweights don't go in weight drain, do
No,
they?
but
look,
yeah.
Fighting weight drained is most of the reason why fighters get so hurt. Because they drain so much fluids off their body, they start taking the fluids off their brain, and that's when they get brain damage. I mean, that's why it's very dangerous when you see these fighters cutting weight to try and get advantages. And it's quite sort of like, I won't say cowardly act, because any boxer that gets in the ring's got balls to me, but it's sort of like you're not fighting the people you should be fighting. You're fighting the smaller guys, you know, and that's bully boy time.
Lewis was a 4-1 favorite versus Vitaly, says Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's why Pacquiao's so loved all around the world. I don't think Pacquiao's ever had a weight advantage on one of his opponents. I can't remember when.
Maybe advantage.
No, a weight, and basically a
maybe
reach
with the
advantage,
catch
size advantage.
Size advantage, no, but maybe with the catch weights, pulled fighters down to they weren't at their best, like De La Hoya and Margarito. But yeah, him being bigger than an opponent, no.
That's what I'm saying. This guy's talking about fighting fucking Golovkin. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? He's another one that'll end up with Riddick.
No, hold on.
I'm afraid.
I want to say this. Pacquiao is not the one talking about Freddie Roach.
Okay. Well, okay, that's fair enough then. Because Pacquiao does not need that sort of fucking problem in his life right now.
I'm afraid for Manny Pacquiao, man. He's almost 42 in January. I'm afraid for that, man. When you were mentioning fighters going up to heavyweight, like James Toney example for middleweight, this guy was a small guy coming from flyweight to welterweight, so it's kind of comparable, but on the other end of the spectrum. He's a really small guy.
Hey, the problem Pacquiao's got, he might be 42. He's still getting 20 million a fight, if not, a little bit less maybe. But where else is he going to get that? So
Jesus,
this guy,
the second richest boxer in history.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when you listen, I'll be the same as him. If I'm getting offered 20 million fight, 20 million, that's a lot of fucking money, man. And, he's not going to get that being a congressman in the Philippines, is he? Let's be real. So, that's what's once Pacquiao gets. Listen, Pacquiao's going to have to get beat up and stopped for him to call it a day. I mean, while he's still winning and getting paid well, he's going to carry on, and before you know it, in 5-6 years' time, he's going to be Riddick Bowe. He's going to be the Filipino Riddick Bowe.
You're right. I mean, this is Roy Jones, where he's not even getting big paydays, getting knocked out in fucking other countries, in unknown countries that are not popular. Well, Russia's popular. Anyways, you don't get the point. That was Roy Jones. He wasn't getting even. Pacquiao is getting paydays, man, like $20 million. He's not gonna stop until he gets stopped, and that's the danger.
But the thing with Pacquiao, look, this is the way I see it. He's a very, very famous man in a country that's, a third world. But he's the guy that would always be treated like royalty, even though if he didn't have money, which he does, because he's just that famous. So he would never lack anything that a man would want in life. I mean, he got car, he got houses, he could have women if he wanted to, but he's married. He has children. What could that man want that he can't have, even though he don't take the big paydays? He's a legend.
It's like anything, royalty. Gonzalo. It's like anything in life, right? When you see these drug dealers, who was that guy that Denzel Washington played, an American gangster? That guy was like a billionaire. El Chapo, another one, a fucking Escobar. These guys are like billionaires, still going, still doing what they do, and they end up getting fucking caught or killed. Why do they do it? Take your money, go and enjoy your life. There's only so much money you can spend. Escobar's got money buried all over Colombia. Why would you got to carry on? This is what I'm saying. Greed will always be the fucking the ending of you. You got to know when to fucking take your money and go. The problem with Pacquiao, still getting paid.
I've been to the Pacquiao hotel. He accepted my friend request on Facebook, and I met the guy. Look, he promotes his brand where he sells autographed apparel and boxing gloves. Still, he's got a store where he's selling his. He does tours of his mansions and he charges people. So that might be a little truth to that he still wants to make money off his business.
Look, Pacquiao will always make money because Pacquiao is going to be the sort of guy that will always bring a crowd. I mean, let's be real. Pacquiao was a bigger star in America than Floyd was at one time. All right, Floyd got paid more by the networks and stuff, but when it comes to fan base, Pacquiao had far more fans than Floyd. Most people tuned in to watch Floyd get knocked the fuck out. Unfortunately, a defensive genius, and we never got to saw it. But that's how it is. Pacquiao's a massive star. But
that's why there's a big debate right now, of who would you rather have a career of, Mayweather or Pacquiao? A lot of people are saying they would want the Pacquiao career.
Yeah, but when you look at Floyd, no damage done. Let's be real. Floyd's still a fucking young-looking guy, good-looking guy. Looks like he's never been in a fight in his life. Pacquiao, I saw it in Pacquiao years ago. When your eyes start to droop, that's when you get the signs are there. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some sort of Parkinson's or something. I know it's a horrible thing to say, and I hate saying it, but I'm seeing the signs where he's been in a lot of wars, Pacquiao. And I've seen when you see a fight that's got droopy eyes, that's when you know that something's not right, and he's still fighting now. And the thing with Pacquiao, he's not fighting bums, is he? He's fighting the top guys still. So.
Oh yeah, and sometimes maybe you can't really notice that so much. What I'm trying to say is he's fought these guys 2 or 3 times. He's fought many legends, 2 or trilogies. So
hey, do you know what Freddie Roach said? Hey, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Do you know what Freddie Roach said about fighting too long? Freddie Roach said his Parkinson was caused. He said by fighting 2 fights too many. Just said 2. That's all he said. He didn't say I fought 2 fights. That's all it takes to fucking. And Pacquiao's been in war after war. Look what I mean. That's sleeping by Marquez couldn't have been good for him for a start. And then when you look at all the wars he's been in, and the trend, and when you look at his eyes, when you start seeing that droopy, he's starting to fucking go, mate. And I wouldn't be surprised if he starts having serious problems when he's older.
You might see like 5 names like Bradley, Marquez, Morales, and what's the other guy? Barrera. But those are actually like 12 fights, maybe more, like 15 when you combine all the trilogies and fights that he fought twice.
Sometimes I wonder about these fighters who get older, who are from other countries, and I wonder how much I can gauge whether or not they've been damaged or shop worn as they speak. Like one, for example, is like Gennady Golovkin. You know what I mean? If I spoke Russian, I feel like I'd be able to, maybe if I heard him speak, I'd be like, oh, this guy's fucking brain damaged, like James Toney. But since he's a foreigner, I don't really he's got the accent, and I can't really decipher. Maybe Manny Pacquiao was getting CTE, but when he talks English, he's always speaking baby, so it always sounds like something.
It's not even about the age. It's about how much punishment you took. That's as simple as that. Brandon Rios at 26 could barely string a sentence together. His eyes were droopy. Brain damage was starting to show at 26 years old.
Yeah, Fernando Vargas. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Dave Allen, another one. Dave Allen's a young guy. Serious problems with him going on. It's not about how old you are. I mean, you can fight till you're 45 if you fucking pop shot your way to a points win, avoiding shots. But when you're taking big shots, even when you're a kid, mate, there's only so much you can take. The human body was not designed to take punches in the chin. Just wasn't.
When I met him in person, he looked pretty fresh to me. He even spoke to me in Spanish. And I was there alone with the guy, and he started shadow boxing in front of me. And the only thing that I noticed is for like the common Filipino man, his head is kind of big. He looks like a cartoon, but he's pretty affable.
You know about Pacquiao?
Yeah, Pacquiao.
Yeah, do you know why his head's big?
HGH?
Years of steroid abuse, that's why.
I don't know, man. He looks like a cartoon character.
He looks like that guy from the old hula hoop advert. Can you remember him with the big head and the little body? He used to fucking look. That's years of steroid abuse. Simple as that.
There you have
it.
But Stu's gonna piss a lot of people off in the chat.
Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. held up pretty good. He had over 100 fights. He doesn't seem to have like that brain damage.
70
You
of them
think
were fucking cans. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? Look, it's you could have 10 fights, but if you have 10 brutal wars, then you're gonna have serious problems. I mean, or you could have 40 fights like Wilder and be fine. Well, of course you're gonna be fine when you're fighting them chumps, but look, it's not about how old you are, how many fights. It's about who you fought and what wars you've been in.
Yeah, that's why I respect Pacquiao. He separated his resume from those other all-time greats. What do you think about Duran? He had a lot of fights too. Did he have a lot of wars? Is his resume as good as Pacquiao's?
Duran was a great fighter, but Duran was another one that fucking his head was a mess as well. If Duran had the mentality of Sugar Ray Leonard, let's just say that, Duran would have been one of the all-time great fighters of any fucking division. But Duran was a fucking, let's be real, Duran was a bit of a dickhead. You know, he used to pick, when he beat Leonard, he was fucking partying, you know, pissing his money up the wall, not training. Then he quit. No mass. I mean, let's be real. That's a no-no for me. So yeah, Duran was mentally weak. I mean, let's be real, this guy got schooled by Kirtland Lang from the UK. I mean, come on, Kirtland Lang. Duran in his prime would fucking end Kirtland Lang's life. Never mind beat him. And he let this guy beat him because when he's not right in the head, Duran, he gives up. He falls to pieces. And that's why you got to give anyone a chance to beat. But if Duran's on his game, up for it, people are going to get hurt.
That Ken Buchanan fight was kind of controversial. I think he hit him in the nuts. I rewatched it about 6 months ago, and that was a controversial ending. That was a prime Duran.
That's why I respect Sugar Ray Leonard so much, because Sugar Ray Leonard, when he's the sort of guy that he could fight on the back foot, piece someone up, and school him, and look great doing it. But he can also go to war with the best of them. The guy went to war with Duran, Tommy Hearns, fucking, you know, these sort of guys, you know.
And surprisingly,
Leonard had something in him that Floyd Mayweather's never had. Leonard was just for me, Sugar Ray Leonard is probably the greatest welterweight of all time for me. People say about Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Leonard would have fucking mutilated Robinson. He was just
wow. That's interesting. You say that. He does pass the eye test, and he definitely had the skills. And it's interesting because he only how many fights did he have? Like 32. His career wasn't that long.
Listen, can you imagine Floyd Mayweather having 6 years out of the ring, right? Coming back from welterweight and fighting Gennady Golovkin and getting a win. Can you imagine that? What people were saying about Floyd?
Best ever.
Floyd would never take that challenge. Floyd would never take the challenge for a start. Sugar Ray Leonard, right? For me, probably I think the most talented fighter I've ever seen. But that doesn't mean he's an all-time. He's the best, because there's a lot of fighters that have got good resumes and stuff. But all-around talent, Leonard's probably the best I've seen. Honestly, he was that good. He would have fucking destroyed Floyd Mayweather. You can't beat Sugar Ray Leonard pop shot on your way to a points win. That guy would have pieced you up.
He was a flashy combination puncher with power.
Look what he did to Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns was a monster. Look what he did to him.
That win against
when you look at Sugar Ray Leonard's face as well. When you look at Sugar Ray Leonard's face, not a scratch on him.
Well, he did get a detached cornea when he retired, and he came back. Yeah. Who did he fight after that? He did get some damage to his eyes. But in the older days, do you know what I mean? Let's be real. In the older days, on his day, in his prime, I mean, he let Duran beat him in the first by fighting the wrong style. You can't go to war with Roberto Duran. You're going to come up second best. If he'd have stuck to a game plan, he'd have schooled Duran. Duran got in his head. Started talking about his girl and all that lot, and Sugar Ray fell for it. But in the second one, he forgot about the ego, forgot about pleasing the fans, and went there for the win. And well, we all know the rest. Yeah, and he still lost to Camacho and Terry Norris, but still considered as a great fighter. Yeah, but look, I don't take nothing into that, man.
No.
I don't remember that sort of Leonard. That one. I remember the one that was going to war with Duran and Tommy Ernst and people like that. You know, that's the Leonard I was. You know, that I remember. Not the one that was fucking well past his best.
I guess that's how you really judge a career because, yeah, like you said, it doesn't really matter how many guys you fought. Like, he had a short career. I would say short, 32 fights. Excuse me. And he had a few names, and that was good enough to cement his legacy.
But
and some of those fights were close, too.
How many guys with 32 fights do you know that has the resume of like Hagler, Hearns, and Durant? I mean, there's no one. You won't ever find a fighter anywhere that have that sort of fucking those sort of big names. There's not one fighter.
And think about it. Some of those fights were controversial, right? The Hearns, the second fight, and the Hagler fight, they were controversial. I know it gets tough when you're facing tough other world-class fighters, and, you know, that's just the way it's going to go, like Carl Froch said. You know, they're just really close fights.
There's a saying in boxing. There's a saying in boxing. If you haven't been beaten, you're not fighting the right people. So that's how it is. I don't take too much to defeats. You know, if you're fighting top guys and you get beat, it's on the day. When you're at that level, it's on the day. You know, it's just on the day. Some guys will turn up and everything falls into place. Or one week you turn up, nothing falls into place. You get beat. It's just on the day when you're at that level. But Sugar Ray.
That's right.
That's true, isn't it, Gonzalo?
Johnny Boy says AJ couldn't carry Duran's jockstrap. Well, no. I mean,
I didn't hear that. What was that?
AJ couldn't carry Duran's jockstrap. Well, of course.
Yeah, but I don't know why we're talking about AJ and Duran. It's not like that.
That's why I don't hold it against many of the middleweights when, like, nobody's, like, knocking anybody out, and they say, well, why ain't Canelo knocking anybody out? Well, Golovkin was, but until just recently, he hasn't either. These guys have been in close fights amongst each other. Even the Devyachenko, the other guy on the moved.
When you start going to the top world class levels, the elite levels, these guys are not falling over. They're seeing the shots. They're bracing themselves. They've got little tricks on the track. They can get away from shots. They're hard to knock out. You know, you can't just go in a ring and knock a world class fighter out. You know, it just don't happen like that.
And for some reason, I get the feeling that, especially in this era nowadays with supplements and everything's more advanced. It's just that more competitive. I might be wrong, but I think it is. It's just that more competitive.
You know, it's just like I said. It's when you start going up the levels. These guys are smart fighters. They see the shots coming, and that's the difference. That's the difference between the best fighters that don't get knocked out. It's usually they see the shots. It's the ones you don't see that knocks you out. But these guys are smart. They know how to get away from shots. You've got people like Kevin Bum Bum Johnson, absolutely fucking useless. Hate watching him fight. He used to retire, get out of my life forever. But this guy's hard to knock out. Crafty, knows how to block a shot. You know, them sort of guys. When you're fucking knocking people and they're falling over in a round, you're not fighting the right people.
Yeah. I mean, there's something wrong. I mean, you can't be that good, right? Or unless you're Mike Tyson or something. But even then, yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, it was mentioning Pacquiao if he would have a shot against Golovkin. I don't think so, man. The best case that I could make for Pacquiao, maybe he would turn it up where Golovkin's reaction time is a little slow and he would piece him up, kind of like how Kell Brook was piecing up Golovkin. He would catch up to him. He would win some rounds, but he would get knocked out ultimately.
Yeah, because Golovkin Pacquiao would win rounds against. But the thing is, like, it's one of them fights where it's going to be 3 hits. Golovkin hits Pacquiao. Pacquiao hits the deck. Ambulance hitting 80, and that's just how it is, man. I mean, look, Pacquiao's a tiny welterweight. I mean, look, Jeff Horn was giving him problems. What's Golovkin going to do? Come on, man. You know,
doesn't Kell Brook? Don't you think Kell Brook fights similar to how Pacquiao punches off the fly? He don't have to say. He just off the gate. He throw a combination ambush.
Kell Brook is a lot bigger than Pacquiao. A lot
That's
bigger.
Right.
A lot bigger and stronger. And his shots were his shots were hurting Golovkin. Golovkin was getting very frustrated because he was getting hit with shots that he weren't seeing, and you could see him tapping his gloves. And then when he got angry, it was all over for Kell. It was all over for Kell then. But he was getting hurt with some big shots. I mean, Kell Brook looked amazing in there. So look, Pacquiao love his moments, but as soon as one lands, come on.
Yeah, and I think he was eating those shots too because he was taking those shots in order to not lose focus on placing his timing for his own punch.
No,
so I'm gonna take.
Yeah. Sorry, good dog. Go ahead.
That's basically it. Like, I'm gonna take 2 to like land my own, so that way I don't have to like focus on defense or getting out of the way. I'm gonna maintain my position.
Always been like that. Golovkin,
I'm gonna maintain my.
Yeah. Golovkin just defensively just covers up. He doesn't counter shot. He doesn't catch and shoot. He doesn't come under. So if you start throwing combinations at Golovkin, you're going to start looking. You're going to start having your moments because Golovkin's not coming back with anything, and that's what Kell was doing. Kell was coming up with some good combinations, sharp punches, and Golovkin, because he doesn't do them, so he just covers up. It looks like Kell's doing well.
And I think he's relying on his chin also, saying, "Well, I don't have to get out the way. I'll just eat your shot. That way, I can still land mine without losing the."
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was that because he was getting very frustrated with himself. If you look at there, he was getting annoyed with himself for getting hit with shots that he shouldn't have done. But Kell's very quick. He comes from angles. He's got that angle background, isn't he?
That's right.
They come from weird angles, and they're very fucking crafty fighters. Very horrible.
You find the similarity in Pacquiao? You find the similarity in Pacquiao's fighting, although he's a smaller guy?
because Kell's like a lot bigger, a lot stronger. Pacquiao's come on.
But wouldn't you say Pacquiao's still better though than Kell Brook?
Yeah, but Pacquiao needs to knock Golovkin out, and he ain't going to do that. When was the last time Pacquiao knocked anyone out? You think he's going to knock Gennady Golovkin out? One of the best chins in boxing. Come on, man.
No,
Golovkin's going to eat those shots. Golovkin's going to eat those shots like Pac-Man. And he's going to, well, you know what's going to happen. Pacquiao, look, if Pacquiao's got problems now with his fucking brain damage, wait till he's had that fight.
Is it a definite point in case that how do you say is it for sure that Golovkin would knock out Pacquiao even though Pacquiao has only really been knocked out one time?
Listen,
with one
Pacquiao's never been hit by Gennady Golovkin. Let's be real. If Juan Manuel Marquez can sleep Pacquiao for about 3 hours, what do you think Golovkin's going to do?
Yeah. I mean, he's been knocked out 3 times, but 2 were against the body when he was like dehydrated.
If Juan Manuel Marquez is sleeping Pacquiao like that when he hits him clean, what is Golovkin going to do when he hits him clean?
That's right. And Marquez wasn't really a big welterweight either.
He wasn't, bro. And he was that night. Let's be real. He fucking out. He was that night. Yeah, I mean, like
sure.
He'd been in the Ivan Drago fucking steroid center, any of that. But let's be real. If he's doing that to Pacquiao when Golovkin lands, I don't want to see it. Do you?
Now, what about the fact that Golovkin is 39 now? Going to be, let's say, he's 38, turned 38, but he'll be older.
If Golovkin could hold his own, with Canelo Alvarez at this age, what makes you think he can't hold his own with Pacquiao? Look, people get too excited on this channel about Pacquiao. Forget that Pacquiao, that fucking bolo, young-looking guy that fought Margarita. He's not here anymore. Right? This guy is a good fighter. He's good enough to hang with Furman and people like that. But Golovkin's a different kettle of fish. Come on, man. Anyone that thinks Pacquiao could win that fight, it's just got no business talking boxing. They really haven't.
I'd say he wins some rounds, but gets knocked out.
Yeah, but winning rounds don't mean anything. It's a 12-round fight. Winning rounds, what does that mean? Amir Khan won rounds against Canelo. How did that end up?
Yeah. It's just the evidence that there's hardly any case that I can really say. Although, Pacquiao is Pacquiao, but not at middleweight. And especially since he's fucking 40-something. Even a prime Pacquiao.
Subhash says he'll do better than Kell Brook. He'll do better than Kell Brook.
I don't think so.
Kell Brook did good.
Yeah, better than Kell Brook. What's better than Kell Brook? Win.
The thing is, people get it twisted, mate. Just because Golovkin lost to Canelo Canelo Alvarez is a special fighter. You know, that don't mean he's shot to pieces. Golovkin will deal with most people in boxing. That's still at this age. He's a fucking very hard man to beat. So, and then you want to bring an old 42-year-old blown at welterweight who's got brain damage, about 80 fights, as you want to put him in there with Golovkin. And what fucking planet are these guys on?
Yeah, with the solid chin. So basically, he would eat everything Pacquiao would throw at him, and
Like
a really good punch.
Like Pac-Man, he'd eat Pacquiao shot. Listen, when was the last time Pacquiao knocked?
I actually think Golovkin will knock out Pacquiao
if he
to the
can't
body.
knock welterweight, if he can't knock a welterweight out, how's he going to knock Kennedy Golovkin out? He's going to need a fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah, I don't think I even ever seen Golovkin hurt. Maybe with that lead jab that Martirosyan threw, he kind of stumbled a little bit, lost his footing.
Martirosyan, fucking gypsy boxing style would have given him a better fight than Martirosyan did.
Yeah, he never saw that punch coming. He thought that he was going to step out and reset, but he surprised him with the lead jab. After he threw a combination, instead of resetting, he threw a jab and surprised Golovkin. He just lost his footing, but he wasn't really hurt.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, he did wince a little bit against Devyachenko and brought down his elbow and took a step back, but that's the body, not the chin.
No matter how fucking tough you are, body shots hurt. Body shots. I've seen body shots. I've seen when a fighter dominate every second of every round, get hit with a body shot, tide turn just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Body shots are more important. Fucking headshots. I just don't understand why fighters don't throw them.
Yep.
You know, you leave yourself when you throw a good body shot, you do leave yourself wide open with your chin in the air and stuff. I get that, but when they land,
you do it like Chavez.
They can change the fight.
Just nick it in there, the right moment.
Yeah, that's something that Chavez popularized amongst all fighters, Mexican fighters. I see a lot of fighters doing it nowadays where they're investing more to the body. It doesn't matter who you are. And I think I give credit to Chavez for doing that.
Yeah, that's what everyone loved about Ricky Hatton. When you see all Ricky Hatton fight, most of his best work was the shots to the body. And that's why he used to grind people down. Look, body shots are the key, but you can also leave yourself wide open to a big shot. So I get why a lot of fighters are very methodical, aren't they? They just do the basic stuff. They don't want to fucking take chances. Everything's fucking safety first with today's fighters. And that's why boxing is where it is. I mean, come on, man.
Isn't that how he beat Jose Luis Castillo? Ricky Hatton to the body? Ricky Hatton.
Broke his rib. Broke his rib, mate.
Jesus.
Crumbled him and broke his rib. And let's be real, you know, he's not knocking Castillo out with a headshot. There's that body shot that changed things, you know. Look at Tyson Fury v. Cunningham. Cunningham was... Tyson Fury was having all sorts of problems with Cunningham. Getting pieced up. He landed a good body shot to Cunningham. The fight turned after that. You know, and that takes the fucking lot out of you, especially when you've already fought for 7 or 8 rounds, you know. You know, body shots are the key. I just don't understand why fighters don't use it.
Jesus, now that you mentioned that, Tyson Fury might actually have a great chin. Because if you think about Muhammad Ali, he hit the canvas 4 times, got up. And when they're talking about Deontay Wilder being one of the hardest punchers of all time, and this guy was able to raise off the canvas. So Fury's never been knocked out. He's got amazing recuperative skills. So we never know if he ever hits the canvas again and still gets up, or doesn't get dropped ever again. I mean, he might go down as having a great chin. So I don't think his chin is perfect.
Hey, but what about Wilder? What about his chin? Because maybe his chin wasn't even that great. I mean, we've seen other fighters.
No, I don't think his chin's too bad, bro. I think his chin's all right. You know, I just think it's
me neither. I think it's all right.
I think it's his legs are the problem. You know. That's the problem for me. When you get hit with a big shot, it just rocks you to your boots. It goes down to you. If you haven't got strong legs, sort of like takes everything out of you, and you just can't get them back. You sort of whack at them, and you can't get them back, and that's when you get knocked out. It's all about in the legs. I mean, that's why Nassim Hamid had such a good chin. He got hit with clean shots, flying in square on. But look at the fucking guy's calves. That used to save him, you know. But with Wilder, look how his legs gave up on him in the second fight. 2 rounds, he was done. 2 fucking rounds.
It's not to say that Wilder is not strong, because he is strong. He's just a thin man. Like even my grandfather, like and he had real thin legs, but he could still climb hills. I mean, when you got thin legs, doesn't necessarily mean that you're not strong. But when you're fighting other bigger men that are as strong as you but bigger, that's where the problem is. Because Wilder is strong.
Yeah, the problem with Wilder is, though, he put on like 20, 30 pounds, and his body's just not built to take that sort of upper body weight. You know, look, he didn't put on his legs, did he? Them fucking legs look the same as they always did. It was all top heavy with it, and
top heavy.
That's why we have weight divisions. I mean, a lot of these fighters just putting on a few pounds can be the difference from them being a very good fighter and then being a.
It's like them Jeeps from the 80s and the 90s. Then remember them Jeeps from the Jeep Wranglers from the 80s and the 90s? Why they always used to flip over a lot, because they were top heavy.
Yeah, well, like I said, and you lose your sort of footwork. And with David, like I said, David A earlier, when you're top heavy, that's how you get them injuries. You go to throw a shot, your fucking legs give away on you. Deontay Wilder just got manhandled, and like I said, his legs give up after 2 rounds. Come on, man.
Oh my, yeah, look at these legs. I'm gonna post a picture. Yeah, we were talking about Wilder's trainer, how he didn't really provide any sort of tactical plan for that fight. I don't know who the strength and conditioner is, but he also did a terrible job.
What tactical plans, though? What tactical plans JD's got in place? He's probably the worst trainer I've ever seen in a boxing ring, and that includes Panama Lewis, by the way. You know, this guy. Look, he was quite happy to see Deontay get killed in that ring. He was angry with Breland for throwing the towel in. He's a yes man. He's a fucking yes man. He's there for the trips to Europe and the lifestyle. He's not a boxing trainer. Never will be. Deontay Wilder is kidding himself if he thinks Jay Diaz is going to come back with a plan to beat Tyson Fury. Fuck out.
So JD's brother called him up and gave him the idea that they should open up a boxing gym, and they did. The only thing that I could think of, I don't know, that Wilder maintains a loyalty to Jay Diaz because he must have been the guy that he first stepped into a boxing gym when he was working. I think he was like selling Coke and in a truck. Coca-Cola. He was a distributor, and when he stopped doing that,
I think you got it right there. I picked the other Coke in it. Fucking useless. Come on, man. I don't want to hear nothing about Jay Diaz. Jay Diaz is JD's whatever his fucking name. Absolute disgrace. I'm not a Wilder fan, but that guy would have gladly seen Deontay Wilder die in the ring that night. He would have done. He was Rocky Balboa in Rocky 4, weren't he? When mate was telling him to throw the towel, he's just sitting there like a fucking zombie with a towel in his hand. All Jay Diaz was worried about is his perks. How many other fighters are knocking on Jay Diaz's door? You tell me that.
Yeah. So basically, what I think, yes, Deontay Wilder, the first time that he stepped into a gym, it was Jay Diaz. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. That's why he maintains a loyalty to him, because the guy is not a trainer. He only opened up a boxing gym.
Well, loyalty will get you killed. Loyalty will get you killed. Go and ask all these guys in prison that were loyal to their friends. You know, taking the flak for something they didn't do, doing 20, 30 years. That ain't me, mate. You know, fuck loyalty. There's no loyalty in life today, mate. You have to look after your fucking self. Look after no one in your family. Forget everyone else. I mean, this is what I mean. But I'm loyal to my friends. You can't. You're a muppet then.
It gets kind of weird because he also showed loyalty to what's that guy Espinosa from Showtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Showtime, and
I should think he was showing loyalty and getting 12 million to fight fucking Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Deontay Wilder. He's a loyal man, but loyalty will get him out. You have to be ruthless in boxing. You have to be. Look how ruthless Tyson Fury was with his best mate Ben Davison. Ruthless. That's how you got to be. Keep doing the same things week in. What JD's gonna? What game plan has he got? What thing? Look, he's had 40 odd fights with Deontay Wilder, and the man can't even throw a left hook.
Could it be that Wilder?
What is the other guy?
Could it be that
Go
Wilder
ahead,
knew
Stu.
that? I was just gonna say, could it be that could it be that Wilder knew that if he got a new trainer, he would actually have to put in the work?
Yeah, you could be right, bro. You could be right, because when I watch Deontay Wilder in camp, I don't see a guy that wants it much. I don't see a guy that fancies it. All the excuses in the world to cut corners, and he got stuck in a mode where he's just got to land on the button, job done. Didn't want to learn nothing. So yeah, you're probably right, bro. I don't see Deontay Wilder being in boxing much longer. I said to you he wouldn't fight Tyson Fury again. I stick by that. I'm getting the vibes that he's waiting for a payoff to step aside. I mean, any fighter that wants to step aside, it tells you his mind's not up for the job anyway. And look, he made his money. Time to get out for Wilder.
But
Wilder
Stu,
shot to pieces.
Stu, you may be right. Maybe Wilder is smart and he thinks that, you know what, maybe I should take the step aside money. But I guarantee you that JD is telling him to take the fight.
Oh, mate. Listen. Look,
Shelly Finkel.
In Shelly Finkel, yeah.
Deontay Wilder can go around like Gerald McCullough and Jay Diaz when we're trying to get him fights.
That's the sort of person
This guy is not the sort of guy you want around you. Keep saying that, man. These yes men will get you fucking killed.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. The best thing that could have happened to Deontay Wilder is the coronavirus. As opposed to anybody else in the game, it's benefited Deontay Wilder.
Why?
Yeah,
time to make
think it over.
Yeah, because the longer he's not in with Tyson Fury, the better for him, because he don't want that again. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Look,
but he's on death row. He's just waiting for the He's on death row, and then he's thinking about
just waiting for him
postponed.
to fucking inject him with that fucking look. He's mentally shot to pieces. I know for a fact we will not see Tyson Fury Wilder again. I'm saying it now.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Especially with Tyson Fury pulling no punches, still saying, that he don't want to be the guy that if they were to fight a third time, he want to let his guard down, because he still realizes that Deontay Wilder got a punch, right? And he's not pulling any punches, saying that he will still mop the floor with him again. So he's not a guy that's being ambiguous. No, he's pretty decisive on how he feels, his skills. He said he dominated him in every manner when they fought. So I think Tyson Fury will show up prepared.
Yeah, and by the way, another reason why this fight may not happen is that, Fury showed up during those ESPN fight cards that we had a few days ago, and they're already talking about Fury against AJ. Now, I'm thinking, why would ESPN, they're dismissing Wilder? That fight has
they got no ratings.
I know.
They did 2 cards. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Just before we talk about the ratings of those cards, ESPN's talking about Fury against Joshua, but they're bypassing this Wilder fight. That fight still has to happen. So I'm wondering how they're gonna sell this fight, Fury Wilder. They don't even want to talk about it because it's pointless. But hey, it has to happen. How do you sell this fucking third fight?
How do you sell it? Well, it's signed, right?
Yeah, but how do you promote it? How do you promote it? Nobody's gonna buy it, is what I'm trying to say. So they have to come up with some sort of story.
When Deontay Wilder came to the ring, he was wearing a 45-pound outfit, and his legs couldn't take the weight. The champion was weakened. He could not defend himself. And that fat fucker Tyson Fury came in and stole the belt because white America cannot handle the power of the Bronze Bomber.
That's a pretty good what do we call it? Trailer?
That's what it is. Though, for real, they're gonna have to play up that he just came in and he wasn't ready. And
that's suicide, man. But that would look really bad.
It would. You know what? Real quick, a thought I had earlier. Bucho, you said how Deontay Wilder handled this poorly with all the excuses he came up with. How he should have just been humble about it.
Yes.
If he was humble, it would have even set up the third fight.
Yes.
Because he could have.
Hey, no one of. No,
Wait, listen to me. Listen to me.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on, one at a time. Let him finish.
Okay, I'll finish and then you go. Hear me out.
Quickly.
Deontay Wilder could have been, he could have said, hey, look, I lost this fight fair and square. And if he was humble enough, he would have been able to then say, but I still beat you in that first fight.
Yeah, said no one whatsoever.
He could have made it seem one. He could have made it seem 1-1. If he was humble enough about losing the second one, maybe somebody would say, all right.
There's nothing humble. Listen, there's nothing humble about saying you won that first fight when you got schooled for fucking 10 rounds. Get out. There's nothing humble about that. Good luck to anyone. Good luck to anyone that shows you the Deontay Wilder highlights in that second fight to build up the fight for the third. What are you going to show him? Come on, what are you going to show these crowds to say, come on, watch this again? It was competitive.
If you really want, you could chop it up and you could do 2 knockdowns versus 2 knockdowns.
I mean, let's be real. We might as well just go back to the archives and watch Jack Johnson fights at this fucking rate. Come on, man, get out of it. I mean, that fight's done. There's been another one since then. Wilder lost every second of every round. What are you going to show us for me to get my money out of my pocket? I want to see it.
2 knockdowns versus 2 knockdowns. It's even to the dumb fucker, right? No, seriously. If you're trying to promote this to the casual fan, to the stupid motherfucker, you could do straight up because Fury got knocked down twice in the first.
Oh, come on, man!
Yeah, but
you're underestimating the. No, you're underestimating you're underestimating casuals now. Even the fucking casuals saw what happened, man. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? We just saw one man pounded on another one for 7 rounds. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, even a mentally challenged person.
When you have trilogies, when you look at the great trilogies of all Gatti Ward, Free Ward.
Yeah, come on, you can't even. That's not even in the same.
No, but listen, really, Bo, Holyfield, these sort of fights, good trilogies that you remember, and Barrera Morales, these sort of Marquez, Pacquiao. I know they had 4, but still say that their fight, they were all competitive. That one was so one-sided. I mean, come on, man. That's like saying fucking Rod Solker deserves a rematch against Danny Garcia.
Hey, but look, no. Perception is reality.
Oh,
you could fucking cut a highlight reel. You could make the video package.
You need to stop smoking weed with Keith Thurman. That's what you need to do. Stop smoking with Keith Thurman.
I ain't smoking his shit. He's smoking swag, baby.
You know what's a better and more hopeful scenario for Deontay Wilder is if he takes some step aside and allow Joshua and Fury to fight, hoping that maybe Joshua wins and I give Wilder a better chance at beating Joshua and knocking him out. And that way, maybe recapturing the title again.
Yeah, you know what? Wilder needs another win before there could be the trilogy. He needs to kind of show some kind of perceived improvement, maybe. Perceived being the key word.
Hey guys, but it's But I was gonna say,
who could he rebound against? Oh,
they can put him against anybody, and maybe he'll knock him out. And he's back. But before I want to read this comment. British Bulldog is saying they're gonna sell it by race, mates. So they're gonna be making this a racial
I don't think they can sell that.
No, it's too dangerous to do that.
Yeah, in this climate. It's kind of weird because before, when was it? February when Fury Wilder
Black History Month.
Yeah, it was February.
Oh yeah.
So that was just a few months.
Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder. Not going to go with that.
Nah, because now with the whole climate now, things have changed.
No, but let me say about Deontay Wilder. Dumb motherfucker. He really is, but I don't think the guy. I really don't think the guy is that bad of a guy, and I don't think he's a racist. The problem is he tried to get people on side by bringing that shit up, and it backfired on him. And I don't think he's going to make that same. I don't think he's going to make that same mistake again. You know,
especially against Tyson Fury. That guy doesn't have a racist anything in him. You know, he's got a black trainer. He's Irish. He must have been discriminated. I don't know too much about their culture, the traveling gypsy.
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Yeah, them two are very good friends. Wilder doesn't have any problems with Fury and vice versa. But I don't think Wilder's ever thinking, where because Fury's a white guy, he wants to fucking. I don't think he was ever like. I think he likes Tyson Fury and respects him, but I think he jumped on a bandwagon. He thought because America's a toxic place at the moment. Same with the UK right now. So where race baiting seems to be the fucking the way to go. And I think he jumped on the bandwagon. I think it backfired on him. I just don't.
Thanks to Anthony Joshua, right, motherfucker?
Well, Joshua's another one, isn't it? Jumped. Such a fucking, and he's such a pleaser, isn't he? Trying to please everyone, just corny as fuck. Gone off the guy. He's not real anymore. Dillian White said it how it was. The guy's fake.
Hey guys,
the guy reads his speech. He didn't even. Oh, come on. Josh was corny as fuck.
Hold on, we have a phone call. 610. You're on the air. 610. Oh, hold on. You're muted. Go ahead. 610. Go ahead.
I didn't hear the last show. Like, I couldn't get it to load. What did AJ say that now everybody's like freaking out over? Like, did he say some racist stuff or?
Still take it away.
Like,
well, basically, what the crack is, because I'm not getting stick in the chat. People saying I'm simping for Wilder. I'm not. If you listen, if you connect the dots, because obviously you're not as smart as me, obviously, but if you connect the dots, what I'm trying to say is that Wilder. Mate, he jumped on a bandwagon, thought that was the way to get fans. He's that desperate to get people like. He thought, go to the LDBC, be a fucking pro-black fucking race baiter, and that'd be the way forward. But I don't think it's in his heart deep down. That's all I'm saying. But what's the question? Go ahead.
What
Jackson.
did AJ? What did he say?
Look, my problem with AJ is it was the wrong time to say that shit. He said about supporting black businesses, which I've got no problem with. Everyone else does it. Why can't they? I don't. But he had to go that extra bit further and make it divisive by saying boycott everyone else. I mean, hit it where it hurts. The economy.
Damn.
Hit it where it hurts. Hit it where it hurts. Don't buy their stuff and stuff. But Joshua hadn't thought this through because in England, good luck with that one. You'd fucking starve to death. I mean, what car would you drive? You don't want to buy a car off anyone that's not black. Good luck with that one. I mean, come on, man. He hasn't thought this through, but he's read a speech that was written by some Marxist fucking nut job. He's not looked at it, read it, and it's been, he's an appeaser, Joshua. I don't think Joshua's as bad as people make it. I do actually quite like Josh. I think he's quite a nice dude, but it wasn't a fucking good look. It wasn't, So that's where I am with it. And that's why people have turned on him.
So, Stu, is he not the big thing? You know how, like, AJ was way bigger than Fury in the beginning?
Oh, of course, yeah. Of course he was. Fury took his shine.
Are they changing to the Fury bandwagon?
Whoa.
He doesn't seem as authentic.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Jackson, that's exactly what's happening. I'm looking from the outside in the UK. I've seen Joshua's fan base start to dwindle, and I've seen Fury's just explode. And even with the girls, I mean, on my Facebook where they love Fury, because there was a fly on the wall show with the Fury family. Obviously, his wife Paris is a fucking lovely girl. They all love Tyson, and then really took Tyson Fury. I did a post on my Facebook where I said, "All right, guys, who you got, Joshua or Fury?" I had 88 when I said last time. I got to about 96. One person said Joshua would win out of them 96, and this is this girl that just she's a Joshua fan girl. She just wants to suck his cup. That's basically what it is, because she knows nothing about. But that's the only one. 92 comments. She was the only person that had Joshua winning that fight. I couldn't believe it. I said Joshua's not. I mean, Joshua's not that much of an underdog. He's not that fucking bad. But people just don't believe in him anymore. And I don't think it's about the racist comment. I just think it's the Ruiz fight, because even that girl, because that girl who's a Joshua fan, I'm good friends with. I went to see her the other night with a few friends. We was chilling around her house, and she said what he did against Ruiz was not acceptable for her. And she's the biggest fan of Joshua around. She said it weren't acceptable. So I said she sort of cringed on that performance, because girls like to see blood. They're fucking quite bloodthirsty, aren't they? And she said it wasn't. I think Joshua's lost his spark in the UK, to be honest.
He's fighting scared. Talk about that comparison when you mention Thurman not fighting the same ever since he got touched up in one of his fights. Look at Joshua. He's got knockout power and he's fighting scared all of a sudden. His confidence is gone. I mean, he lost the weight. His stamina improved, but he was still on the back foot. He dominated, but he was still rattled, sticking his tongue out, showing that he wasn't mentally as strong. Yeah. And then you got Fury, a guy that's showing more confidence, taking it to the puncher and knocking him out.
You're spot on, Gonzalo.
Well,
and that's why I've got Fury.
I don't think Thurman was fighting scared.
That's the major thing with this Fury Joshua fight. Joshua mentally looks shot to pieces. I mean, the way he fought against Ruiz in the second is a man that's just not confident in himself. And I don't know, man. And I think people are picking up on it, where Fury is just looking better and better and stronger and stronger. Look, Joshua's got a chance. You know, look, got a chance, definitely. But
that's why I bit my tongue. I was going to say masterclass performance, but it wasn't against Greece because he was fighting too scared for that to be that.
Anyone that says that, anyone says that was a masterclass performance, just it's got my business talking boxing. That was not a masterclass. He did what he had to do on the night, and I accepted it. But look, it didn't do him any favors. Let's just say that.
Yeah, definitely. And if you even want to go and say that, yeah, Ruiz was like fucking 300 pounds. So that was a really, really gross version of Andy Ruiz.
Look, I'm getting some stick for people saying I'm simping again. Look, this is how it is with me. If you don't know what, I don't fucking give two shits about taking sides on this race bullshit. I don't. I'll fucking back. It's no right or left with me. It's right or wrong, and I don't take colour over. I'll back Joshua when he's doing the right things. When he's not, I'll call him a piece of shit. You know. So if you want me to, if you're looking here for some white knight to start bashing black fighters, you're not going to find it here. So I don't know.
Did you say right or wrong or white or wrong?
No, I said there's no right or left. It's right or wrong. And at the end of the day, this guy's obviously getting angry. He's getting a bit annoyed with me probably because he said I'm simping for the black fights because that's where he's going with it, isn't it? Let's be real. And it's not whether I don't look at race when I look at fights. I look at who I like and who I don't. I judge character. So if you're looking for some fucking, you know, some leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, then you're in the wrong place, man. Do you know what I mean? That's not me.
Right. Yeah, let's be honest. What that cop did to George Floyd guy, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody disagrees. Listen, guys, let's call it a night. It's been more than 2 hours, I believe.
Yeah, call it a night. But look, this is how it is, mate. That's how it is with Joshua and Fury. Whether you like I said, with me, I'm not here to fucking have people like me and that. Like, you know, some of these corny motherfuckers on YouTube just say what people want to hear. That's not me. I'd rather have none of you like me and keep it real. And let's be real, my life's good at the moment. That's why I've tried, because I've kept away from boxing and you lot. I mean, let's be real. That's one of the reasons. Not that you guys on the BDA, but these fucking savages in the chat. It's been really nice being away from them.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's true, man. There's some real psychos out there. But
mate.
Especially since boxing is dead, how much can you keep repeating the same things over and over?
Why do you think I've not been on, Gonzalo? Why do you think I've not been on?
There's
what
not
are we
much.
going to talk about?
There's nothing. We have to come up with things like most dominant heavyweight in the last 20 years. I mean, there's really nothing.
Come on. Yeah.
All right. We'll do more second Renaissance shows. We'll do that.
Yeah, but even that's getting toxic. I'm trying to stay away from politics now. I've seen so much divisive shit going on recently. I mean, when you look at, even on my Facebook, and they're all falling out of each other. All of a sudden, everyone's a fucking activist, aren't they? They've got the answers. I mean, look, corny as hell. I mean, I've tried to keep away from. I had some fucking white chick telling me about white privilege the other day.
No,
Couldn't believe it. Blocked her ass.
Blocking her. All right, guys, listen.
Boxing is coming back, but we're just gonna have to see. It's coming back slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see.
We gotta wait. Well, it's coming. It's gonna come back. We just gotta wait. But guys, thank you for joining us, man. Everybody in the chat as well. We'll see you next time. Have a nice night or day.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone. Totally disappointed in everyone.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He's just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.